Family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey.
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager fell victim to fake pills. Smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Where are these pills coming from, and how are kids getting them? Right from under our noses, crooks are targeting kids on social media and selling them counterfeit pills that could seal their fate with the click of a button. It may seem harmless, maybe it doesn't even seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. So before buying pills online, think about this. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Think these pills are tested and safe? Think they're the same ones you get from a doctor? You know they're not. Did you know that many fake pills contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal? Listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance. Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirit, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional.
This episode of the Outlaw Radio Network is brought to you by Destination Highway 420 in Bremerton. Looking for a knowledgeable cannabis shop with a great local vibe? Destination Highway 420 offers a wide selection of Washington State cannabis products, including flower, pre-rolls, edibles, and concentrate from trusted producers across the state. Their friendly staff can help you find exactly what you're looking for in a relaxed, welcoming environment. Visit Destination Highway 420 at 1225 Hollis Street in Bremerton. Must be 21 or older with valid ID.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf of
sometimes
Paul,
I have to
thank you.
mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network, Sunday night at their new time from 6 to 10.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network, powered by our friends at Destination Highway 420, proudly supporting our veterans in the Bremerton community. Visit them online at destinationhighway420.com. 21 and over.
Cannabis has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Keep out of the reach of children.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our bit.
Republic. I like the sentiment of it. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood. Mary, now you're
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over.
You meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're gonna have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I decline to be an outlaw.
All right, everybody, it is the Outlaw Radio Network. It is the 26th of April, 2026. Thanks for checking out the show. K-Dog, Beals, Black Tom on the camera. What's that? We got some
static.
That's staticky. It stopped, though.
It's my electric personality.
Sorry. Tom is revolting.
I forgot to drag my feet when I walked in.
It's Tom's. Is your microphone switched on, Tom? Yes. Is it?
Oh, it's definitely your microphone.
Yeah, it might be the cable.
Yeah.
We'll do a cable switch. DJ D is running things back on the other side. Oh, hold on. All right, it's unplugged now.
Okay.
DJ D is running things on the tech side, so we'll get this all thing figured out. He unplugged you because he's going to do a cable switch, Tom. Lori, the CEO, is here. Isaac is here. We haven't seen Isaac in the studio for a little bit. Good to see Isaac. Paul will be here in a little bit as well. In just a couple of moments, we're going to bring on Wesley Blackwell. So he is the host along with DMAC Uno of Uncommon Courtesy. You can catch that on Webb's Network Media 360. We'll talk about that. Give you an idea what that's all about. We'll let him kind of explain it. We'll get to that in a minute. But we got to give some props, right? We got to talk about our sponsors.
Yeah.
Obviously, first and foremost, Destination Highway 420. You can check them out on Hollis Street, across the street from Cloverleaf. They had their big event on April 17th. April 18th for the 420 celebration. We've talked about it since. But again, I thought the turnout was great. The crowd down there was great. The Destination Highway 420 were great hosts down there. Had a lot of good, knowledgeable people. Again, if you don't know about cannabis, you can check it out. You can ask some questions and do some research. You may wind up like me and never do it. Or you might find really cool reasons that benefit you from pain management, stress management, sleep management, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage you to go down there, check them out.
Yeah, all of them are very nice too.
If even to just tell them,
help.
thank you for sponsoring Outlaw Radio, because they do every month. They help us out and they sponsor us, and we love them for it. So stop in and check them out. They've got more events coming up, and I'm going to come spend more time at the next one.
Good.
I wasn't able to do a lot because it was the same day as the big WrestleMania party at my house, but I'll come out and check out the other.
Yeah, so you say.
No, I will. I came to this one, didn't I?
For a minute.
Well, but I had people at my house
It
already.
was really fun.
When I left to go to the
Yeah.
event, I already had people at my house for the rest. I had to abandon people in my home.
Can I just tell you, I made my first tie-dye t-shirt and I love it.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
you
that
should.
white
We wear it
blue.
next week. I want to see it.
Sure.
Okay, wear it next week.
I was thinking about wearing it tonight, but then I was like, no.
We want to give other shout outs, obviously, to Black Ring Spirits, owned by Tom, our wonderful co-host, proprietor, master distiller down here at Black Ring Spirits. Stop on in and see him when the mall's open at the South Kitsap Mall. Is your microphone? Dennis has still got you muted. Hold on. Try that now, Tom.
Nope. Not there.
Yeah, we
Not
don't have any audio from Tom, so we'll keep working on it. But stop in and see him anytime at the South Kitsap Mall, taxidermy shop, mortuary, and Tybo class. Stop in at Town Square Shopping Center. Yeah, Town Square Shopping Center. Black Ring Spirits is a full. You don't have a mic, Tom. Sorry, you can't say anything. Dennis is working on it. Stop in and check out a fine selection of distilled spirits made locally right here in Port Orchard. Local goods, local ingredients, because they require him to do so, and some really good stuff. Tom, what is? I know you're not on a camera, on a microphone currently, but what is your selection of choice right now that you have in stock that people should check out?
Nope. Here.
Hey. Actually, I have a
Try
lot
your
of-
mic now. Try your mic.
How's it? Hey, I made it.
I'll fake.
Hi, everyone. Actually, I'm working like a beat dog right now, trying to catch up. The cupboards are a little bare.
Yeah.
So I have some bourbon left. I have some of my chocolate pistachio whiskey left.
So you never tell them this.
Very
You just never tell them the shelves are bare. You just say, you know what I'd recommend right now is the
I'm-
pistachio whiskey. That's what I recommend right now.
The ice
I'm catching up on both.
The ice cream guy asked about your espresso whiskey. Is that?
Oh,
what you said?
my coffee whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's going to be back soonish. That one sells out very, very fast.
All right. Other sponsors to tag really quick. Kitsap Great Escape. The only escape room in Kitsap County they're no longer the only escape room in Kitsap County. I guess
really
a one-room escape room has opened up in Paulsbo. We wish them well. I think escape rooms help other escape rooms. It brings knowledge to it and exposure. So good luck to them. But we are still the best.
Well, and it builds a little bit of a community that want go out and try different escape rooms. I mean,
so we've all tried. Not all of us. Lori no-showed. Shocker. But most of us.
Lori was there.
Oh, was Lori there? Oh, Paul said she wasn't there when I talked to Paul.
Seriously, flip him off.
No,
what
Paul
the
said
hell?
you weren't there. Anyway.
She was.
Okay. So, Lori, come on the mic really quick. We don't want to do this very long, but I do want to talk about Kitsap Great Escape. We all had a chance to play the new room this week. The new room is the Curse.
The Lunar Curse.
The Lunar Curse. Thank
Yes.
you. So the Lunar Curse
See,
is the
I
new
was
room.
there.
You guys played it on Thursday.
Yeah.
I played it today.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with the design of it, so it was fun to get in there and actually see what they put together. I thought the room was pretty spiffy. I thought they did a pretty damn good job on this room. I think it's outstanding.
I'm sorry I missed it. I thought we were talking about this coming week.
Oh, you were the one that wasn't there.
Yeah, this past week there was just no way I was going to make it.
We had Mateo again, and he
Yeah.
was awesome
Mateo's
as
great, yeah.
usual. Yeah.
Mateo's
And
great.
we saw your daughter.
Yeah, Emily was there.
Yeah, Emily was there.
So, what KGE Kitsap Great Escape has been doing is beta testing the room this week, which is why you could not book it for this week. But bookings are open, and bookings will be available starting on Wednesday. You can book today, but the first day to actually play it is this coming Wednesday. Come on down, check it out. They did a really amazing job on this room. 3 other rooms to choose from as well. There's Submergency. There's Professor Warpleton's Mystical Manor. There's Kidnap County. This new room, the Lunar Curse, is not a Harry Potter room, but it's got that feel, right? That vibe of wizardry, wizard schools, potions, magic wands.
I tried
all of that.
casting some spells. It didn't work.
No.
No.
Voodoo dolls. Now I know when my back hurts. Thanks, Peeler. Anyway, check them out. KitsapGreatEscape.com. You can check out schedules, book your room, get gift certificates, all of that. And the party room's available too. If you got a birthday party you want to bring down, reach out to us about that as well.
And don't they have the take-home option?
Yeah, we got rentables down there as well. There's a pirate's chest rentable. that should take you between 60 and 90 minutes to do. There's also 3 cases, which are 3 different cases. They're smaller, perfect for like kids' birthday parties, because kids don't have any like attention span. So these are like 20-25 minute escape rooms.
Yep.
That's
in an old, they're actually in old voters booths is what they're made into.
Oh, really?
What they've been created into. Yeah. But it's cool because you can do one and then the kids can open presents, and then do another one, the kids can have ice cream, another one the kids can have cake or whatever.
Fun.
Right. So all that's available as well. Find out more. Check out kidshavegreatescape.com for all of your options. And if you have any questions, you can call the room and ask for Lizzie or ask for me, and it will help you out. We'll get you set up. And then the last one I want to tag is admin a la carte. They don't get enough props for all they do with the show, all the background stuff they do, all the stuff with the website, with our online store, with the stream, all kind of the stuff that you don't know has to happen to make a show happen. Admin a la carte does it all. That's admin-a la carte. Is that admin-a la carte, or is it oh God bless it. I'm gonna find out. Hold on.
I think it's just admin.
It's admin-a-la-carte.com, and check them out. If you've got stuff you need for your business on any level of online e-commerce stuff, Andy and everybody over there at Admin a la carte will be more than happy to help you out. All right. We have any other plugs we got to do? Any other tags? Am I forgetting anybody?
No, I think we're good.
I forget one person. DJ D is available to DJ your parties.
Absolutely. he is.
DJ D
And
will
he's
do
very good.
weddings, bar mitzvahs,
Bat mitzvah.
circumcision parties,
Bachelorette parties.
I was
If
just
you
going
need
to say,
a stripper too, he does that.
If you've recently been
I think,
divorced.
yeah. I was saying, I think he's got a partnership with Chippendales and Thunder from Down Under.
Thunder from Down Under.
And let's be honest, I mean, he'll even dress up in a Chippendales outfit if you pay him enough.
I mean,
so
I'm pretty sure he would.
DJ D, if people want to hire you for a wedding or a party or anything like that,
Event.
how would they get a hold of you? Would they just send it to the Outlaw Facebook page?
Yeah, you could do that. That'd be a good way to get a hold of me. And for those of you that are friends with me, just hit me up on my page.
We need to cut you a promo. Yeah, we need to cut you a commercial. All right. So now that we have all the stuff out of the way, there's one last piece of house clean we want to get to before we get to our guest. Obviously, something pretty massive happened last night. The gunman at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What that means, this is theoretically the 3rd attempt on Trump's life in the 2nd term of his. There's a whole bunch of angles to go with this. There's a lot of conspiracy people out there that think this has been staged and a whole bunch of stuff. We are going to talk about it for sure in the next hour. So at 8:00, we'll spin back around to this. I don't want you guys to feel like we're ignoring it or not getting to it, because it really is the big story of the day. But we already booked a guest, and we're going to respect our guest because our guest is really cool. But we're going to come back and talk about it, maybe with our guest at 8:00. So there's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about that. What's going on with Iran? The whole Vrabel Diana Rossini thing is just too good for me to talk about. So we'll talk about that and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So we're good there. So hold on, I'm trying to multitask multiple tabs. Let's go to our guest joining us from a very cool looking studio space. Wesley, I'm about to turn your camera on. Don't pick your nose. Is Wesley Blackwell. Again, he is the co-host of Uncommon Courtesy with D-Mac Uno. You can find him at Webb's Network Media 360. Wesley, what's going on, man?
Not too much. How you guys doing?
Oh, you got a good radio voice too, man. That's good.
That is
okay.
Good.
I appreciate the plug. I appreciate it. It's great having me. I appreciate you guys having me on the show as well. Thank you, and thank you to D for also inviting
yeah,
me.
Is that your real voice or is that the gear?
No, that's my real voice. What
all right,
does it sound?
That's his voice.
Stop.
Kevin has to use it.
I can verify.
Yeah.
I used to work with him in the studio all the time.
No, people say that to me too. They're like, "Well, do you really sound like that in the real world?" Yeah, that's exactly what I sound like.
No, not at all. He uses a voice control. I'm telling you,
and auto tune.
He really sounds like a little girl excited for her birthday all the time.
I thought I wasn't pulling your hair tonight. Are you?
Damn.
All right.
Damn.
Wesley, listen, before we even get started on this, will you talk a little bit about your show, about Webb's Network Media 360? Kind of give the listeners a rundown. Let's get started there.
I appreciate it. Well, Webb's Network Media is a station started by me and D-Mac Uno. Really just to kind of get out an outlet for speaking about political things. There's so much going on in the political world. I would always be on my Facebook page, kind of just plugging away, having Facebook fights with, different people who are different people who are on my page, whether they're my friends or not my friends. So I kind of figured, why not take this to a platform that we can get our voice out to more people, especially with the kind of changing climate we were in. I think we started the page in 2024 and February 2024. And so it was just something so we can kind of like give our opinion on what was going on. We kind of saw where everything was heading, and I really wanted to speak out about it and kind of let people know, like, ring the alarm. It made me, ring the alarm about what I felt was coming. And so that's kind of where the page started from. We also branched off into sports and other things as well, but the political lane is kind of mostly what we do. Our flagship show is Uncommon Courtesy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say sports. So are you? Neither one of you guys are Cowboy fans, right? Because we might have to end this interview early.
My brother's a Cowboy fan. I'm a Broncos fan. Actually, I'm a Denver Broncos fan. So.
I know. I give your brother a hard time for being a Cowboys fan. Like he's got some credit in the community for all the stuff he does, so we'll give him a little bit of grace for being a Cowboy fan, but not much. It's
you guys all Seahawks fans here?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Across the board? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
what
Seahawks
happened the last time we played you guys in the Super Bowl, Wesley? What happened?
I can't recall that one.
Where do you guys stand on the political stuff? Like you talked about, seeing what's going on. You want to bring people's attention to stuff that's going on. As you look at the landscape, Wesley, what really stands out to you as stuff that people really need to be aware of?
I mean, if we can, where do I start?
I know there's a lot. I'm stop.
Where do we start here? I mean, I think we're in the middle of a transformative administration right now. Something that's very, in my account, very dangerous for this country. I think we're kind of stepping over lines that we can never step back from at this point in time. And
what are the lines you're referring to?
Well, I mean, wow, where do I start again?
Wesley, we got you all night if you want to stay all night. So
no, absolutely,
take your time.
Bear with me. But from a standpoint of just where we're at with just how we handle immigration, how we handle foreign affairs, how we're handling just dealing with our court system, Supreme Court system, how we're kind of stepping over boundaries. I know that everything I say, there will always be a parallel to it, but not an exact parallel. There will always be able to say, okay, well, this administration did this, but what was it sending people out the country against a court order to stop in the middle of a court order? It's just different parallels that we have to look at, but we have to almost put ourselves in a situation to where we're not trying to mince words or compare two things that are uncomparable. If that's an easier way to put it.
Okay.
Also, I mean, in the middle of wars that we should not be in the middle of for no reason, like regime changes across the world.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic.
I was a little bit.
I mean, if you really look at it though, I mean, who's been putting us in the middle of these wars for the last probably 30, 40 years, if we really look at it. It's gotten to the point to where, but I want you to always know that everything I expound is always a marriage of convenience. It's like, it's not a marriage that's tied together forever. As soon as there's things about you that I may not agree with, I'm going to say something about it. There's things about, the people who I may vote for that if I don't agree with it, I'm going to speak out on it. That's just how I am. I'm not going to stick to something just because I feel like we're tied together at the hip. I have to defend everything you do. And I think that's where we are right now. A lot of people are just defending things that are indefensible at this point in time.
Okay, so hold on. So did Dennis warn you that two of our hosts are conservative and one of our hosts is a libertarian? I totally and I'm kind of on an island all by myself because I don't really
dipshitarian.
You know what? By the way, Paul has arrived at the show, by the way, and that's his opening contribution. Paul, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I hope you die in a fire.
I know.
Oh my gosh, Kevin.
I know, it's brutal,
Please
right?
don't put that out into the universe.
I know.
I'm going to get a t-shirt that says that. Paul, I hope you die in a fire.
Here,
That's
let me say this.
Go ahead, Paul.
I think this is so important here. These are exactly the kind of conversations that should be happening. Right?
Yeah.
This conversation that we're having right here, he's well versed in his world and the topics that he covers. We're well versed in ours. And if we don't have these kinds of interactions, like nothing ever changes, nothing ever gets better, right? It's just continual anger and hatred and he said, she said, and TikTok taglines. And the world is a much more complicated place than that.
Absolutely.
Well, see, this was kind of my goal with bringing the two, shows together was I noticed, first of all, a difference, in the way that each show comes across. And I'm like, okay, well, this is the versus battle of local media that no one ever asked for.
Well, they're going to get it. And if
yet
we're
at the
lucky,
same
we'll get
time,
it regularly.
promoting and sharing, together,
Right.
on our platforms. I just think that that's an awesome thing. It's like,
agreed.
There's enough airspace for all of us. So,
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would like to think that maybe we're going to set a good example because when you get out into the world, though, I mean, man, you can't have these conversations.
No kidding. See, I didn't finish my statement. No kidding.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, like Paul always likes to say, I'm here to have the conversation.
Yeah. And listen, let's give some props to Wesley, right? Like, he knows he's coming on a show where he's outnumbered by the number of
everybody except the
conservative
guy named Dog is against him.
Yeah, well, I don't think Tom's against anybody. Tom's a libertarian.
I know
they have to matter to have an enemy.
Wesley, Kevin refers to Tom as a perennial loser, as a libertarian. So, I mean, just so you get an idea of the respect Kevin has for the Libertarian Party.
But I do think it's important, right? Like Wesley's willingness to come on and have a conversation and to be outnumbered a little bit, but still be willing to have that conversation. I think that's really important. So Wesley, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
100%. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Seriously.
Part of the challenge in our system, Wesley, tell me if you agree with this, is that we aren't having these conversations. People are going to live in echo chambers instead. The left wants to hear what the left has to say. The right wants to hear what the right has to say. And they're talking over each other, not with each other.
No, absolutely. Yeah. This is one of the main reasons why I don't watch MSNBC, because you're pretty much just trying to tell the people what they want to hear. Don't get me wrong. There's a few people that I do like. I do like Rachel Maddow, even though I know many people will look at her and be like, she does the same thing, but I like the way that she presents her case at most times. I'm not saying that she's always right. She's media. Media's going to make mistakes.
Yeah, I get you, man. I listen to her.
Yeah, I do.
But I put her
like
and Sean Hannity in the same category, right?
Absolutely. They're basically just. I mean, before Hannity, there was O'Reilly, so he's basically just the next. Yep. Yeah, you just like I know. This is why I don't listen to that. I'm the kind of person I'm going to hear every point of view, then make my opinion based off of the information that I have. None of us have all the correct information, but all we can do is kind of base our opinion off what we feel is right and wrong. And so
I keep telling my wife that, man, she don't listen.
Wesley, how do you classify yourself within the political spectrum?
I feel like I'm a progressive.
Okay.
That's how I look. Yeah.
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah, this will be.
I don't really call myself a liberal as much. I guess that I call myself more of a progressive. I look at.
So you like taxes?
Alicia did not. She just damn. Both barrels.
It's okay. I mean, I think the taxes, depending on what they are and what they're for, I think we don't even. First of all, let's start with there's no accountability in government.
Thank you.
We are going to get along just fine.
So that's one thing. We can sit back and have Pentagon budgets that they don't know where the money went. Trillions of dollars has happened on multiple different occasions, but we want to keep on giving these people money. And so that's that. It's not that I'm about taxes. I'm about the people. I know that we require taxes in order to provide for the people. And the more, it's like you're only as strong as your weakest link in life. That's just how I feel about life across the board. And instead of us funding things outside of ourselves, why not fund the people? That's how I look at life more than anything else.
And I'm okay with a little bit of taxes as well, because I do help. They do so much for, well, not so much in Washington, but
you were a government
fix
employee.
our
I mean,
roads and do all those kinds of things.
Right.
Yeah.
So taxes are a necessary evil for things.
Unless you're Tom. Tom doesn't believe
they
in taxes
are,
at
and
all.
I agree with that. I don't agree in excessive taxes, which is what we're facing right now here in Washington.
Yeah, and we'll get to Washington State, Wesley. We'll get your
absolutely.
opinion on some of the stuff here.
Yeah,
Wesley, my thought on taxes has always been I don't really care. I'm going to take crap for this, but I don't really care how much.
Full disclosure: Kevin worked for the IRS for many years.
I did for nearly a decade.
Why is that relevant?
Because his belief in tax.
It's gonna flavor his opinion on taxes.
I don't know. It doesn't flavor my opinion on taxes.
Really?
I don't care how much I pay in taxes. What I care about is where is that money going?
Absolutely.
How transparent is it? And is it getting me something worth what I'm spending it for? Meaning, if I paid 50%, I'm going to make up a stupid example.
Sure.
If I pay 50% of my income in taxes,
Canada.
But for that, the roads are great.
You're almost there now, bro.
I know. But for that, the roads are great. The medical system is awesome. I have great health insurance. I have free college, and everything is and everything is reasonable. I'm not going to have much of an issue with that. But if I'm paying 10% of my income out in taxes and nothing works and nothing's fixed and nothing is right, I'm going to be pissed.
Right.
Because they're not spending my money correctly.
And that's how the roads are right now. It pisses me off.
I know when he said the roads are good, I was like, oh, he's making this up.
I'm making this up, yeah.
Yeah, no, that 50% with his unicorns and fairy tales,
says the libertarian. Wesley, what do you think?
I agree with that. I mean, I know people, we look at how could we ever get to universal health care and they say, well, you'll have to raise taxes. Well, you're already paying for health care. So basically you could turn those into a form of a tax. So they're already a form of a tax being put on us. And so is education. That means you could take other taxes off the table if you looked at things from that manner. And I do believe that
just not be taxed though.
I mean,
not like that, not excessive.
Okay, not excessive.
We need it. You're right, Wesley. We need to talk about this right now. We need to talk about the corruption and how badly we need an audit here. We have a legislature that's spending $1.5 billion per week in Washington State,
and stole $4 billion from the firefighters and retirement
in our
fund.
rolls. Right? Yeah, they're dipping into retirement funds. They're putting more taxes on us. They're going after our millionaires, which is going to trickle down eventually.
Well, the millionaires can afford to leave, so they're going to. So that's going
exactly
to,
right.
Yeah, that's going to force.
Wesley. We got to let Wesley.
Well, now I don't. You guys always interrupt me, and I lose my train of thought.
Go ahead, Beeler.
I'm done. I'm done.
They're going after the millionaires. I know where you're going with that as well too.
He interrupted you. What is up your butt today? Jeez, Wesley, what do you think, man?
Well, I mean, I do feel like we have our tax system is set up for the wealthy. I'm not against wealthy people. I'm all about business. I own my own business. I've always owned my own businesses throughout life. So, and I'm all about people and individual effort. I don't believe we should ever be a totally socialist country, which we are kind of a socialist country right now. People, we tend to believe that we're not, but we have so many socialist things going on in this country. It's ridiculous. I mean, even the people who tell you that don't be socialist will give money to farmers and say because they've created tariffs that took money, almost bankrupted these same exact farmers, and then tell you not to be a socialist. Even the person who is giving hundreds of millions of dollars to those same people told you that they're going to basically have to have a universal income because AI is going to take away your job. So as much as we like to say that there's no socialism here, there is. I just think we have to find a way to integrate it into our current capitalistic system to make it work for the people. The billionaires tax, I really feel like it's something millionaires tax. I feel like it's something that needs to it has to happen. And when you look at it, they're paying a lot less overall. I know they pay most of the taxes, but look where all the wealth is concentrated at. It's concentrated at the top. Our system's been skewed and it's kind of tipping to the point to where there is no middle class. The middle class is what rose us to prominence. And now we're getting to a point to where we're getting squeezed to the point to where many people are either filing for bankruptcy or just poor, just can't even really survive. A lot of American people don't even have $500 in their bank account. I'm sure you guys have heard this rhetoric before from many politicians, but it's a fact. And so where do we go from here? How do we get ourselves? I'm not asking for exact parity because there'll never be that, but there needs to be a change in the system to where a guy doesn't have almost $1 trillion. I'm not knocking him for having almost $1 trillion, but look at everyone else. It's a problem in our environment. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, the richest person in the world had maybe 150, $200 billion. Maybe that was like, wow, a person has $200 billion. Now a person on like 4, 5, 6, 7 people have that. And I know it's all paper, but it's at the end of the day, it's wealth. And these things are being used to buy our government as well. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you're hearing any disagreement from anybody over here. Let me ask you this. What to you would be a better system? Right? Because you say we already have socialist programs and stuff, and I think a lot of people agree with that. Mm-hmm. I don't subscribe to that. I think we have socialist-like or socialism-like systems in place, like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and stuff like that, but they're still based on a system of, trickle-down economics, essentially, right? People pay their taxes, and, I pay into my Social Security so that one day I can collect it, right? That's not a true socialist policy, but I do understand and don't really argue with people who suggest that it is. What to you would be a better system then?
Well, I mean, I think a system based around the people. I look at us. Our education. We're the wealthiest, quote unquote, country on earth. There's no reason we shouldn't be top 2 or 3 in education. That's a huge thing. Why wouldn't you want to educate your populace?
Nobody going to disagree with you.
To me, the only reason you keep your population, lack of a better word, dumber, is so that they don't care about voting. They don't know what they're voting for. They don't understand what's going on. They fight each other. That's what we're doing. It's not. I'm not so much as pointing the finger at politicians. I point the finger at us before anyone else. So this is our fault. This is happening. This is not their fault.
I blame the media. This is the media's doing.
At the end of the day, it's us though, as a people. What are we fighting for? That's just how I look at it. I mean, the media can only give you what they can give you. If people were to say we want education, that's just what we would get. But I'm sorry. I want to hear more about why you say you blame the media, so that I have a better understanding, so I can give you a better response to that as well.
Because the media are the ones that have created this divisiveness with the rhetoric from both sides. Left, right, independent, whatever.
Clickbait and advertising dollars.
Yes, they create this hate towards the other side, and then it carries over into real life. And what we have to do is learn to be in the middle and be able to have these conversations, Wesley, just like we were talking about. That is the only way we are going to be able to overcome this divide in society.
Do you not think that it almost comes from a lack of education, though? Like, if you really look at certain, it shows in demographics of where people vote. It shows
education is definitely a factor in all of it. I mean,
you don't understand
even in political science theories.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
And I think they use that in order to be able to control. That's a form of control. If I can keep you where you don't understand something, I can just basically say, this is your enemy. There's a famous, like, I guess it's like a meme or something, where there's a guy sitting in the middle, and there's a guy over on one side who's a working class guy, and there's a guy on the other side who's maybe a working class guy. It's two different color of people. And then there's cookies piled up on the guy in the middle's plate, and there's one cookie on the other guy's plate. It's like, look at him, he's taking all your cookies. And this is pretty much where we're at right now. If I don't know if I made a perfect picture for you guys to be able to see that, understand that, but he's basically trying to blame, this one guy over here, while he has all the cookies on his plate. He's trying to blame this guy and have these two fight against each other. But that's from a lack of, to me, it's lack of education, lack of understanding. I think many people vote against their own interest consistently. You look at a lot of the places around the country that vote for people who do not share the same. I mean, maybe they share some of the same moral, interest, but economic, no. You're poor. You have poor education, you have poor health care, you have poor maternal results, everything. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but they still do it anyways, because morally they can get you to believe something or feel something that you probably already believe and feel, because you're not as educated, you haven't been anywhere else around the world, or even around your own state or country, whatever. And that's my opinion on it.
I think, kind of, go ahead, Kevin. I was going to say, Wesley, I agree with you in regards with the media. Like, I hear what you're saying, Beeler, but I think the problem is the media would cease to do what the media does if the media didn't make money doing what the media does, right? Exactly. And so, like, you're right, the media does lead us down this path, but it leads us down a path because the American consumer is prone to just glom onto it and believe it and follow it and do it, right?
Because we're lazy.
Yeah.
Well,
so we want to be led like lambs to slaughter.
Well, I think that gets back to what Wesley's talking about, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just kind of a lack of education. But I also agree with Alicia. I mean, the legacy media has to create the outrage so that people tune in and ratings go up and advertising dollars come in, right?
That's the driving force behind the media. Alicia's point about why they divide us, because if it bleeds, it leads.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to create that outrage so that you can sell advertising, because that's really all your legacy media gives a crap.
1000%.
Yeah. I just wish we got to the point where the American public said, I'm not going to patronize CNN or Fox News
or MS Now.
or MSNBC or whatever.
No, it's MS Now.
Oh, MS Now.
Yeah,
whatever.
They rebranded.
Listen, I still call them the Washington Redskins, for God's sake. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, the American population has to stand up and say, we're not going to patronize you. and then their
Absolutely.
profits are going to go through the tank, and then they're going to have to change their business model. Right now, we're supporting the business model, and some of it, I agree, is education, but I think a lot of it, Wesley, tell me what you think. I think a lot of it is just sheer laziness. And I don't mean lazy like we don't want to know, but I think it requires so much work now when you are, Paul, I'm going to use you for an example. Okay. You got 2 kids, you got step kids, you got a significant other, you're working full time to take care of your, make money for your family. You're running your kids to different sports practices, different events, different things you've got to do. You try to create a little bit of a social life. When are you going to have time to dig into all the nuance that has to be dug in to really understand this complicated ass system that we live in? And you're passionate about it. The average person that lives in Bremerton, Silverdale, wherever, they're more concerned with how am I paying my power bill this month that went up, 32% over this time last year.
And how many, to that point, how many even realize that the Washington State Democrats gave Puget Sound Energy the ability, literally, PSE asked for it, and the Washington State Legislature gave them the okay to raise their rates 30%.
Well, and they're going to raise them again.
And they're going to raise them again.
And all of that.
We seriously need to get a PUD.
So
I'm not even playing.
So all I'm saying is, back to my original point, which is, it's not lazy like people don't want to know. There's 24 hours in a day, and now you have to work a second job sometimes to be able to afford to pay your bills and raise your kids and do the things you've got to do. How do people have time to deep dive into whether or not I'm going to vote for this person or that person based on where they stand? I don't have enough time to read a book or watch a TV show at the end of my awful day.
That's why I said people are lazy, brother. They don't want to make the time.
I don't know if it's lazy. I think it's just overworked. I think it is, life is all consuming trying to.
When you're a small business owner like you are, Tom,
yeah,
I don't even know what that word means.
You too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even, that doesn't enter my lexicon.
Lilet, I'm not even going to answer any of your comments until you stop throwing around insults. Kevin is a lamb, whatever, Lilet. Wesley, let me ask a question. One of the things about the economy that I've been really passionate about has been what we've done with the gas tax in the state.
Oh, don't get me going.
And I understand the argument from the left about the gas tax. I don't agree with it. I don't really grab it because the gas tax is supposed to go to the roads, and the roads are crap, and the infrastructure's crap, and they just had to shut down the Tacoma Narrows, 2 lanes at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge for several days in the middle of rush hour because they're not maintaining that thing properly, and they had to do a quote-unquote emergency fix.
They get plenty of money from us. But I don't know why it's in bad repair.
But the big issue for me with the gas tax, Wesley, is I really feel like the gas tax hits our lowest income demographic the hardest. You tell me that I got to pay an extra $1.25 a gallon over the last year and a half. That's an impact for me out of my pocketbook. And I'm upper middle class in the wages that I earn. You tell somebody that makes 20, 25 grand a year that they got to pay an extra $1.25 a gallon for gas. That's life-changing difference.
That's crushing.
That's crushing. And you're taking food out of their kids' mouth. How do you think we should handle the issue with the gas tax? What does that look like?
Well, I'm not going to say I'm totally 100% versed on that. So I'll give an overall overarching opinion. I'm against anything that's going to hurt middle class, lower class people, period, plain and simple. Just by I know they're trying to help out with with everything as far as the environment. They're trying to push us more towards electric vehicles, XYZ. However, that to me is not worth us having such high gas prices. I'm in the logistics, and I always see that in our state, diesel's way higher all the time. Fuel's way higher. I have to put premium gas in my truck. So I understand that part of it, but and they're not giving a very good reason behind what they're doing. I know they're getting, they've shown us repeatedly that they will waste our money. In Seattle, I think they just caught a homeless encampment where they had I'm not sure if it was 1.3 or $13 million, something like that, where they basically don't know where the money went. And so I do believe that in our state that there should be more representation from the right, but I believe their message is not really reaching the people. I think that's what it really is. No one's coming with the right type of messaging that can reach the people to kind of offset us just having a totally liberal agenda here. I don't think that we should have 100% liberal agenda here. I think that there should be kind of I would say a 60-40-ish agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or,
60.
you know, so-
Listen, Wesley. 60-40-ish is still the same thing.
Right.
This is Washington State. We can complain all day long, and God knows some of us have about the taxes in Washington State. But this state, do you know how long, Wesley, this state has been run by the Democratic Party? Like we're talking the legislature and the governor's seat.
I'm not going to say I know that for sure.
That's okay. That's okay. Because
Paul knows
we had
'cause it's
state
his
legislators in here that didn't know either. This has been a single control party state since 1988. 1988, right? That's a long damn time. And we're really seeing the results of that, like the higher gas taxes, like seeing how much they're able to waste our money. Like Kevin said, and the professor pointed out, right? They passed the highest tax increase in the state's history this year.
Yeah.
Things are only getting more expensive. They're only getting harder to
And
do.
it's just more
Our
and more.
education statistics are going way down. They're in the toilet, right? And to top that off, they pilfered $4 billion from police officers and firefighters' retirement fund. It's unjustifiable in any shape, way, or form. And I get what you're saying, but I think you're saying that because you're on the left, right? Like the reality, I think, is more, if it can't be 50-50, which, you know, the voters have made it what it is. Okay. So, and I don't fault that. Voting has consequences. But I think that to the point that was made earlier about the media, we have a media in this state that is exclusively dominated by the left, and not just a little bit, but a lot. Even if you turn on Q13 Morning News, the opinions you still hear are all tipped over to the left.
Absolutely.
And that's the nugget. That's that space that we have to crawl out from so that we can have these conversations like we're having with you right now. It has become demonstrably bad in this state for so many people. And back to your point about the income tax, right? The problem with that income tax, and let's take out of the equation that it's unconstitutional per the Washington State Constitution. The biggest problem with that income tax, and I don't fault you or anybody else who says, hey, you know, the rich can afford to pay more. I get that. I understand that argument. I'm not saying that they shouldn't or couldn't. But in studying those issues and those numbers, we already know they pay the majority of the taxes in the state. So now we're going to tax them more. And then on top of that, there's no guarantees in this new law that in 2 years you won't be paying 9.9% income tax.
Mm-hmm.
You aware of that?
Are you saying that basically they can change the law to include more tax
to include you and me? Yeah,
I think that'll also be something that they'll have to pass, and they'll have to pass it in the face of the people. I'm not saying they haven't done it.
No,
it's already done.
They did.
It's
already done.
It's a done deal.
So they can. No, I understand, but so they in the law they can automatically do it without another vote.
They enlisted the
Rearrange.
help of the AG's office to make it airtight
so that they could change it.
so
whenever
that they
wanted.
can change it later on.
Wes, I think what you're asking though is, so Congress would, the legislature would still have to vote to make that change
No,
happen.
it's already in law.
Okay, so hold
No.
on. So, I just want let me understand this. Not whether or not they can do it, but let's say they're going to go from that $1 million number down to 750.
Mhm.
How does that number happen? Does the legislature have to pass a new law then to lower it to the 750?
It's like changing an RCW.
Or does somebody does an office make it, or the governor?
It's as simple as changing the wording.
Right, that's it.
Going into council during the next legislative session or the one thereafter. Listen, the whole point of them telling everybody this is a quote millionaire's tax and giving it that tagline is so that the middle class wouldn't question.
Right.
And they didn't. People were just like, okay, cool, the rich are going to pay more taxes. Except that when questioned privately and recorded and put on YouTube, every Democrat that was questioned about it enunciated quite clearly, oh no, this could apply to anybody at any point in time. It's right there. Yeah, I just tell people to read the bill.
I think
I would say.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You're up, Wesley. Go for it.
No, I would say it would take a lot of gall for whoever is going to come in there and try to drop that down. Someone's going to have to put their name on that.
So
and there's going to have to be people to sign off on that as well, just to change it.
Right.
And
it'd
so
be like the Washington State voters voting for a $30 car tab initiative, and then them holding a midnight vote, sealing the vote so you don't know how your representative voted, and then passing it and getting rid of those $30 car tabs after you voted for them.
How much were your car tabs this year?
Oh, come on, I didn't pay them.
Oh, okay.
I'm at 105.
I'm trying to stay legal.
Yeah,
I wish.
On a Jeep, I'm 105.
No,
Do you know
legitimately, I think I was about 120.
I wish.
Can I ask
I'm
you
You're
guys?
in an electric vehicle, bro.
I know. I'm in an old electric vehicle, a 2013 Nissan Leaf, and I spend $310, I think.
For those pothole-filled roads.
Wesley, I think the big challenge.
Hell no.
I think the big challenge I have, Wesley, is that when they add new taxes, they don't do anything with the old ones, right?
Mhm.
Like, there's talk about going to a per mile tax on the vehicle.
They do something with them.
Well, they raise them.
No,
But-
they keep collecting them.
Yeah. But I mean, they don't alter other taxes. So there's been this talk about going to like a per mile tax, but it's not like they're like, well, we have this new revenue stream, so let's phase out the old one. They just leave them both in place.
Right.
We have a high state sales tax because we've never had an income tax, but now we run the risk of having
both
that number lower down to where more people are paying an income tax. And that high
Absolutely.
state sales tax, because they're not going to knock the sales tax numbers down, and then we kind of feel like we're getting double whammied. It's so hard.
And I totally understand. Well, let me preface this by saying this. So, what other state would you guys compare? Like, what would you want to see us more like? What other state
Florida.
would you want to see us more like?
Texas, Oklahoma,
I don't think
Idaho,
I don't think
Montana.
I'm
sorry, keep going.
Well, but hold on, Wesley. Let me flip that question back to you just a little bit, because I think the challenge to answering that question is we could not adopt. Paul mentioned Idaho. I'm going to use Idaho. We couldn't adopt the Idaho.
You're not anymore. You've kind of worked out of that.
I know. I used to be in Idaho. We can't work out. We can't work into the Idaho financial system because in Washington they're paying for a lot of things in social programs that Idaho's not paying for. So for us to shuffle to like an Idaho system, we'd have to have somebody go through with a chopping block and chop a whole bunch of programs that aren't being paid for, so that tax level can stay lower.
How?
Yeah.
So
it was just more of I just wanted to see like through a scope. It wasn't necessarily saying for us to transform that, just kind of seeing what kind of system would you more like? I mean, I don't. To me, it's just like those same states, like Idaho, that's more of a rural kind of area. It's a very difficult. It would be a very difficult, adjustment. Not saying that to have to adjust for it, like chopping block type of thing, but it would be very difficult for a population of our size to deal with something like that. We're more of an urbanized area. Most of our income comes from a very small area of our
You're
state.
correct. The I-5 corridor.
Yeah,
King Pierce, Snohomish County. Yeah.
And so, I mean, when you're looking at places, even like Texas, I mean, Texas, that's a pretty mostly, I mean, there's a few very large cities in Texas. Texas is a huge state, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, there's a lot of rural area in Texas. At the same time, they have a lot of oil income, other things that are kind of helping them out that we don't have as well. Oklahoma is the same exact way. They have a lot of oil revenue, but they have their education is not the best in Oklahoma. Their medical is not the best in Oklahoma. I understand they may not tax as much, and I don't agree with taxes like that either. I'm not like a big tax and spender type of person. It's not who I am.
Yeah, you don't talk like that. I agree.
I don't think that that's what we should be about. I really look at if we look at the parties, and I know that everyone's been spending, but it's a pretty blatant kind of a thing here, which who's been spending the most and where the money's been going. It has been going to the right places. Overall, that's not just saying statewide. That's just saying overall from national kind of a scope. But I do think that
because I don't think it's clear. Who has a spending problem?
Politicians.
Are we saying statewide? Are we saying national?
Well, you said you said nationally.
Nationally, I mean, we really look at over the last since 1980. It's pretty, in my opinion, it's pretty clear that one party's been overspending and the other party's been trying to drive down the deficit once they get it. We have to really look at it in contextual terms. We can't look at it from, if we looked at Obama for what his spending was when you came into office, and you have a $1.3 trillion deficit when you are sitting on your lap when you first get here, and then by the time you leave office, the deficit's at $600 or $500 billion. That showed. Then the next person comes in, and then they boom the deficit out of control, and then the next guy comes in after after COVID happens and has to kind of try to mitigate that, and then again right back into spending out of control again. You have to look at the numbers for what they are. That's why I said it looks a certain way, but when you peel off all the layers, the truth is really there. That's all. You look at Bush. I mean, look, he walked into a surplus. I mean, he walked in with a budget surplus, and he just blew a hole in the deficit like no other for his own reasoning.
Yeah. Wesley, you know what? You're speaking to the choir with me, man, because we've heard Republicans talk for years about how they're the financially constrained party. They want to rein in spending. But they're not. I mean, the Trump administration.
Oh, no, he's way spent too much.
Yeah, both of them have ballooned up the national. Now, I'm not saying Democrats have been any better because.
Well, glad you're not saying
every
that.
one of these administrations since Clinton really has done just a gorgeous job of increasing the deficit. But for Republicans to stand on their cardboard box screaming about budget this, budget that, well, show me your actions, not your words. And the Republicans nationally, federally have done a crappy job of doing anything with the deficit. They've just made it worse. And Trump's administration is both of them have been great examples of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's nationally, that's my personal opinion. I know statewide we can look at things a little bit differently. I know Pritzker's done a pretty good job in Illinois as far as budget wise. I'm not saying as far as everything else. I understand they have some different problems over there, but that's what you get sometimes when you're dealing with large population areas. You're going to have crime. You're going to have other things that kind of happen in those type of areas. But I mean, overall, I do feel like if you're going to spend my money, at least give it back to the people. At least spend it on us. Don't spend it on things like war. You know, you look at what China said. I know we're kind of getting away from local. We can get back there.
You're doing fine, brother. You keep going. It's good.
You look at kind of what China even said. They said, don't blame us because over the last 30 years, 40 years or so, you guys have spent your money on war, and we spent our money helping our people. They drug more people out of poverty, even though of course they've had to. They were, they're still got a lot more people in poverty to do, but this is where they spent their money at, is on their people. And we don't do that here. And I think that one party, more or less, not everyone, there's lots of people within the party who say stupid things. I understand. Like I said, it's a marriage of convenience for me. I see where I'm represented the most at, and that's where I kind of stand for now until things change. But I do see that one party is trying to make things better for people, and the other party is pretty much, why are we cutting Medicaid? Why are we cutting Medicare? Why are we cutting SNAP? Why are we cutting all these programs? But then we want to go and spend more money, $1.5 trillion on the military.
I'll tell you why, because it's being abused. The system is being abused. If you look at all of the things that have been coming out with the Doge stuff and stuff like that with the Somalians in Minnesota, the daycares here in Washington that they were doing it too.
The hospice care centers in California.
Exactly. I mean, it's widespread. This isn't just a Republican issue. It's happening in every state in the United States.
No, absolutely.
I would like to see not only a federal, but state and county and city level audits across the country.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason.
See that.
There's a reason, by the way, they don't want to do that. Like,
exactly.
Well, of course, but I mean,
they don't know where the fucking money's going because they don't track it.
A government should be run like a business, and businesses audit their books.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
I should be able to go.
You get fined or worse.
Yeah. I should be able to go onto a state website or a federal website that should provide an itemized outline,
a balance sheet for
money
in, money out.
And if you want to say, well, we can't tell you everything because there's top secret stuff, then fine, you have a top secret category, and then we see how much money goes to that top secret, and we're not going to know what's in it. But we should see
defense spending, or
we should see everything down to how much they pay for toilets. Like, we should be able to see that because we're the ones paying for the toilets.
Absolutely. I think they do allow that kind. I think they do have something like that where you can look at, but no one ever does it because it's just impossible for any one of us to do. It's like you're gonna need a whole law firm full of people to probably do something like that.
Well,
but
so you want to hang out on a weekend? We can do it on a weekend. Me and you'll just sit down and go through it.
I mean, it's also been designed like the. Yeah, I mean, it's that disclosure is designed like the tax code, though. I mean, the tax code's 3,000 pages long. I mean, no one understands the tax code.
Tom, I'm gonna make it worse for you. You ready? I worked for the IRS.
I know
for a decade.
I know.
The tax code is not 3,000 pages long.
Oh, is it bigger?
Oh, yes. It's huge.
The tax code, if it was printed off on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper.
Yeah, Lori's making faces at me too.
Would not fit in your distillery, dude.
This is not a small room.
If you put it in binders, they're all the way to the back, and you had nothing else in here, it would not fit in here. The tax code is that cumbersome and that awful, and we expect citizens to be able to pay their taxes when nobody at the IRS understands the tax code. There is nobody that I worked with that knew the tax code. We could research it, we could look it up, but nobody knew the tax code.
That's a problem.
It is.
That is a significant problem.
Here's a good one for you, Wesley. In fact, speaking of what they're talking about on the tax code, and Kevin and I have had this conversation a few times over the years.
And I've always been right.
because there's no written law that says you have to pay your taxes.
I heard about this.
Right?
It's true.
And it's true. It's very true. But as soon as you pay the first time, now you've established a precedent.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, and stuff, you know, like Wesley, most people don't know that, right? And not that, I mean, if you don't pay your taxes, it poses other problems, right? Can't buy a car, can't get a house, you know, don't have a tax return, right? Which is what most people go off of. So it's not like we're not going to pay our taxes. We all are in a system where there may not be a law, but we still have to do it.
Lila is feeling very feisty tonight. Lila wants to pick fights with me. Kevin doesn't know why the tax code is this way. Actually, Lila, I do. They want it to be overly cumbersome so nobody understands it, so people are in default, so they're going to owe and they're going to have to pay money and they're going to pay interest and penalties back to the government because they couldn't understand the stupid tax code. That's exactly why they do it. The easy fix, I hate to sound like Herman Cain, but universal flat tax, 999.
Right.
Like that, it'd solve everything, and you wouldn't even need an IRS anymore after that. Well, you still would because people would try to cheat it.
Let me ask you guys a question.
5%.
And I want to ask Wesley a question.
We got 5 minutes.
Can we all kind of agree that a microcosm of, let's take Washington State, right? And the taxes that we all end up paying in this state. Could we all agree that a microcosm of whether spending is appropriate or good or just or whatever, like, can we kind of look at our education system and all kind of go, yeah, I think look, if we spend more, education should go up, right? I mean, there's kind of a correlation there.
Yeah, but we've been doing that for years, and we're not seeing that.
The government never does anything right.
No, I wasn't looking for expounding on it yet.
Okay.
But I was just asking the question, if we can all look and agree that education is a barometer for how well the state spends our money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Tom. Give us the libertarian perspective.
But here's the problem. I mean, you know, pick on me about being anti-government, but let's use, you know, like NASA and SpaceX as an example. SpaceX, private industry.
Right.
Yes, there's some government involvement there,
Right.
but SpaceX runs circles around NASA in terms of efficiency.
Sure.
And getting,
but I'm not talking about private industry versus public. I'm talking about education an accurate representation.
But no, it's not, because the government's in charge of education and they'll fuck it up.
Okay, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Yes, I am. What I'm saying is the government should maybe subsidize private industry running education because the government won't do it right.
Yeah.
So it's not, the money's not.
I think
the money's not spent right.
What Paul's trying to ask, though. What Paul is asking, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, and Wesley, I want to get your thought. What Paul's saying is, theoretically, if the government says we're going to spend more in education, we should see a better reply on that education. Not whether they should or not. That's a whole different conversation, Tom. But the question is, if the government is going to say we're going to spend more in education, then we should see our test scores improve. We should see better performance from teachers. We should see a better college entrance rate, right? Is that kind of what you're getting at, Paul?
Exactly. Is it a barometer? Is school scores a barometer of government spending?
Yeah, and
it doesn't, nothing against Tom, nothing wrong.
Right.
I get what you're saying,
right?
But that's a different that's a different
right. But the only reason I'm saying it's not an accurate barometer is, I mean, we've already shown it in Washington State with test scores. They've pumped how many more millions and millions into the system.
You are right in line with the point that I'm trying to make.
Okay, and our test scores get worse. I mean,
you're not wrong.
What he's looking for is what I think you're looking for is a yes answer, but the yes answer has to come with a caveat. The caveat has to be that the education's okay. You have to not just say I'm going to give you more money. Just because you give a person more money, if you give a poor person a lot of money, they're going to spend it, and they're going to spend it badly. They're not going to invest it. They're going to do the wrong thing. And so it's the same thing when you just give an education system that's not ran properly money. They're just going to spend it badly. They're not going to
exactly. And that's why I just wanted to know, Wesley, and so give us your interpretation, even give it with that caveat, right? But is education an accurate or even remotely accurate barometer of state and spending? Because in this state, has been and is controlled by a supermajority of Democrats, right? So it's their policy decisions that are controlling that spending, where it goes, and how much gets taxed to you as a taxpayer, right? That's why I want to know if everybody can agree on that, then we can talk about, does that work or does it not work?
All right, so hold on. Let's hold that. Let's put a pin in that. We're going to take our top of the hour break. Wesley, how long do we have you for tonight? You're going to stick around for a while?
I'm with
He's
you.
going to be around the whole show.
All right. By the way, I do want to really quick shout out. Doc Blackwell is in the chat. I hope he's still listening. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for taking it easy on my brother." Doc, this is a Cowboy fan free zone. We'll see you next time. We'll see you when you come around to the right side of the fence.
Oh no, it's not football season.
The last thing, it's always football
Oh,
season.
it's the NFL draft, baby. It's football season.
Well,
By
that's
the
fair.
way,
That's fair.
the home of your defending Super Bowl champions, Seattle Seahawks. Listen, I want to address this because people are complaining about this in the chat. So, Lila, I'm just going to ask you, if you blocked any of the hosts, I need you to unblock or we have to block you. Like that's the rule. We've done that with other people. If you're going to ask questions of hosts in the chat, you've got to unblock them so they can see it. That's just normal humanity stuff. It's not meant as a thought. It's not meant as a threat or a hammer.
Well, I can't answer anything. I can't see her.
Yeah. So if nobody else can see.
She may just be coming through on YouTube.
YouTube. That's why
Well,
people.
she's on YouTube.
That's why we're not going to see
Are you
her
guys
on
watching
Facebook.
from the face?
Yes,
Oh,
it
because I'm in
doesn't show
StreamYard.
up on
Oh, okay. We got it all figured out.
Mystery solved.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
solved.
At least we solved it. Now we know. Now we
Kevin
know that Lila's not
apologizes,
booking
Lila.
anybody.
Come on down.
For those of you guys that are commenting in Facebook, you're not going to see the YouTube comments and vice versa.
Right.
So that's the
You got to go to YouTube to see the YouTube comments.
All right.
We'll
so
figure that out someday.
We're going to take a quick break. We're talking with Wesley Blackwell, the non-Dallas Cowboy fan member of his family.
Yay! Way to go, Wesley.
He is the co-host along with DMAC Uno of Uncommon Courtesy. You can find him on Webb's Network Media 360. We'll talk about how people can find that when we come back as well.
Yeah, and the other shows they have in there.
And the other shows they have in there as well, including some sports stuff.
I'm just going to say, man, we're having a great conversation with Wesley.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
appreciate
DMAX. DMAX awesome.
Yeah,
so
he's fun.
he hosts
Definitely.
at Comedy Night.
Okay.
Wesley, are you sad that you guys drafted? I'm waiting for Dennis to hit a bump. Somebody, are you guys sad you guys drafted Bo Nix? Like, don't you know that no Ducks quarterback is ever going to win a Super Bowl?
I'm going to be honest. We should have been. I mean, we should have been in the Super Bowl this year.
You're right.
You know, I mean, if Bo Nix had not gotten hurt, you
Yep.
guys might not be champions this year.
He's like,
say
don't blow that
I just
down.
wanna be honest. You know, but,
What happened the last time we played what happened the last time we played the Broncos in the Super Bowl?
Probably would have happened again.
It was a reverse this time, though. We had the good defense. You guys had maybe had a little bit, possibly better offense, but with Bo Nix,
Hold on. You just said
might have
Denver had a better
offense.
defense than Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh, wait till we come back from break.
Oh, my gosh. All right, hold on. We're coming back after this. It's Outlaw Radio Network. Stick around.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager fell victim to fake pills. Smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Where are these pills coming from, and how are kids getting them? Right from under our noses, crooks are targeting kids on social media and selling them counterfeit pills that could seal their fate with the click of a button. It may seem harmless, maybe it doesn't even seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. So before buying pills online, think about this. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Think these pills are tested and safe? Think they're the same ones you get from a doctor? You know they're not. Did you know that many fake pills contain fentanyl? And an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. Listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf of
Sometimes
Paul,
I have to
thank you.
mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
that's the Outlaw Radio Network, Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance, Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
This episode of the Outlaw Radio Network is brought to you by Destination Highway 420 in Bremerton. Looking for a knowledgeable cannabis shop with a great local vibe? Destination Highway 420 offers a wide selection of Washington State cannabis products, including flower, pre-rolls, edibles, and concentrate from trusted producers across the state. Their friendly staff can help you find exactly what you're looking for in a relaxed, welcoming environment. Visit Destination Highway 420 at 1225 Hollis Street in Bremerton. Must be 21 or older with valid ID.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network, powered by our friends at Destination Highway 420, Kitsap County's premier stop for premium selection. Find your destination today, 21 and over.
Get your popcorn ready. It's the Outlaw Radio Network. It's the Outlaw Radio Network. It's the Outlaw.
Hey, Dennis, let that play for a sec.
Did you make that beat yourself, Dennis?
It's the Outlaw Radio Network.
You don't know this, but that's actually Paul singing in the bump.
You know what, man? I do my best.
I know. You
About
are
professionalism.
a pro.
Should hear me sing Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, it's great.
Drunk.
Yeah.
And rapping Hotel California gives that song a whole new meaning.
Yeah, it does.
Dennis is looking like,
Paul, are you stoned right now?
no, I'm not.
That'd be a fun day, though.
Well, Stone Paul.
I will remind Dennis, he's the one who did it to me on that long drive to Portland.
Oh, I heard.
A couple years ago.
I heard.
Paul, listen, Paul raps so white, he makes Vanilla Ice look like Dr. Dre.
Hey, pasty white and Polish,
It is
baby.
so true, man. It is so true. Hey, Wesley, quick question.
He's trying.
Yeah,
I'm trying. That's right.
Wesley, are you a karaoke guy? Would you sing karaoke if we all went out to karaoke? Would you join us?
D-Mac's the karaoke guy. D-Mac is he loves karaoke. That's his thing right there.
Okay.
I might give it a try if he goes along with me. Maybe. I'm not gonna give it first.
Well, I'm setting a big karaoke party up for my birthday in July. I'll be the big 55. So I'll invite you and D-Mac out. You guys come out. We'll all sing some karaoke.
Wesley, I'm terrible
I'll
too.
rap.
I've got to be hammered if I'm going to sing.
Kevin and I both have the same birthday, too. So
Yeah,
we
it's
usually
Dennis's
kinda-
birthday too. I'll rap too. I am not throwing away my shot. Anyway, Outlaw Radio Network. We're talking with Wesley Blackwell. He is the co-host along with D-Mac Uno of Uncommon Courtesy. One of how many shows you guys have on Webb's Network Media 360? How many shows you guys doing?
4 or 5 different shows on there. Yeah.
Is it all you? Are you on all the shows?
We have a UFC show that we do. That's just LT. He does the show. I'm pretty much on most of all of them though. Yeah.
Well, in other words, you don't have a social life. That's great, man.
Pretty
That's,
much. Yeah. I've been trying to gain one. No.
You married?
Not.
No. That's
That-
why.
That helps. Yeah.
Do you know what I learned a long time ago, Wesley? When I started doing radio in the early 1990s, to tell everybody how old I am, and I learned in when I started doing radio in the early 1990s, you really had to choose early on. You either worked in radio or you had successful relationships. You could not have both.
Dude, that's so true. Well, until recently.
Well,
I'm 2
Paul,
divorces into this radio show for 26
Paul, how long
years.
have you been seeing Amber again? How long you guys been back together?
6 months.
6 months. So talk to me in a couple of years. Let's see how y'all
you're
are doing.
a bastard. That's
I'm
all
just
I'm gonna
saying. Let's
say.
see how y'all are doing, man.
Hey, I'm doing fine with F-bomb.
You are.
She doesn't mind me being
No,
there.
she does not.
That's right.
You have the rare unicorn in your wife, Tom.
Okay.
But you married her older in life, so she was more mature.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, we both went through our bullshit.
Right,
so.
right. Hey,
really quick, I got to tag our sponsors again. Really
Yes.
quick, we want to remind you about Destination Highway 420 on Hollis in East Bremerton, across the street from Cloverleaf. Stop on in. Tell them that Outlaw Radio Network sent you. They got a fine selection of cannabis stuff. Now, hold on, don't help me. They got edibles, and they got flour, and they got tinctures.
Okay,
and they have. Hold on, don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just
They
looking.
have pre rolls.
Okay.
Okay, they got creams and balms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're missing one major product.
I'm sure probably flour.
Yeah.
No, you already mentioned flour.
And whatever you do, don't partake of those while filming yourself live on Facebook.
Yeah, they have all the accessories
another one you missed.
need.
Listen, the fact
Take
that I
Karate
know
Kid.
what any of those
Wax on,
things
wax
are,
out.
the fact that I know what any of those things are, having never done any of those things, is really impressive, and I deserve a cookie.
You did miss distillates.
Oh, I did miss distillates. Okay, I'll add that in the next one.
Hey,
Anyway,
coming from the
hold on,
distiller.
stop off and see Destination Highway 420 East Bremerton. Kitsap Great Escape again, home of the greatest escape room in Kitsap County. 4 rooms to choose from. Check them out at kitsapgreatescape.com, including the Lunar Curse, which is the newest room that just released. We'll get Paul's thoughts on that later. We also want to thank Black Ring Spirits, home of Outlaw Radio, and the South Kitsap Mall, shopping center, brothel, and
Town Square.
And Cornholio shop,
Yeah.
and
it's-
Admin a la carte for all of your e-commerce needs online. Check out admin-a-la-carte.com. Go ahead, Paul.
And Kitsap Paintball.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Dick.
I need to get a write up for that.
Anyway, I'm just giving you.
Kitsap Paintball. Do you guys have a website, or how are you guys?
Yeah, we're on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a website, but Caleb's still building it, so it's still under construction.
Wesley, would you ever play paintball?
Absolutely.
We should get
Great,
your
we'll get you
crew
come out and play for free,
against
okay?
our crew at paintball.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. We just opened our woods ball field, so I was out test playing it with a bunch of kids this weekend. It was a lot of fun. It's really cool.
You should
It's
never
a
say the
very
phrase,
different
I was
game.
out playing with a bunch of kids this weekend.
I was
That's
getting
not-
shot by him. Okay.
I'm just saying that
Thanks
does
for
not,
making me.
that doesn't play well, Paul.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
They're going to think
Right.
you're a Catholic priest if you keep talking like
Ouch!
Whoa.
That's
that. The
kind of
look
funny.
on Wesley's face, like, why am I here?
I had a good one. but I'm gonna leave that one alone for now. I had a good
Listen, I just listen. We went to break, and Wesley
Yes.
made
Not
his
you.
comment. Here's what I just wanted to say to you, Wesley. By the end of the 25 season, of course, the Seahawks and Broncos both, because I want to give Wesley his props here, had historically great defenses, and they both achieved dominance, though, but in different ways. I think that's a good way to look at it. The Denver was, of course, feared for its relentless pass rush, right? Great defensive line, no doubt about it. And Seattle, on the other hand, was much more efficient and opportunistic. Seattle had the #1 scoring defense in the NFL. The Broncos were 4th. That's,
That's pretty good.
Scoring
yeah,
defense.
number 4 in scoring defense, right?
Okay.
Total sacks, though, the Broncos were first with
Number one.
68 sacks allowed. Seattle was 4th with 47 sacks. Seattle was tied for 6th with 18 takeaways. The Broncos had 14. And DVOA, which was basically that's your defensive efficiency. Seattle was rated #1. And the Broncos were rated #2, so they were pretty close in that regards.
Hold on. Listen.
Total defense. Let's do total defense here because we've gotten away from the total defense. That's
Well, no, I just read you the DVOA. That's your efficiency. That's what they substitute now for total defense.
Here's why this is a moot conversation, guys.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay,
here,
go ahead.
and then maybe you'll agree with me.
Go ahead.
So ultimately, the argument was settled on the field, however, of course, because the Seattle Seahawks defeated the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, as you pointed out earlier, Kevin, with their defense putting on a clinic with 6 sacks, 2 interceptions to secure that championship. The Denver Broncos boast the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year, and Patrick Surtain. Is it Patrick or Pat?
Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain.
He's good.
And they do have a loaded roster, and they're built to win this year. So if there's any luck for Denver, they'll get back to the Super Bowl this year and get a chance to try to redeem their good name in the eyes of Seahawks fans. Doubtful, but it could happen.
Are we
They gotta get
saying
past-
that the Seahawks didn't just have this was a very, very easy path for the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. This was like
What?
one of the most.
Are you nuts?
Dude, who are the Rams? Are you serious?
I'm not saying the Rams weren't good, but this was a
And the
very
49ers?
this is a good
Way to stir the
49ers.
pot.
They whooped the 49ers like someone like they stole something. The 49ers were depleted. Let's be real. The 49ers
Wait a
were a
minute.
depleted team in the playoffs.
Well, they were depleted after we kicked the
Wait a
snot
minute.
out of them.
Wesley.
Fred Warner, Joey Bosa. I mean, let's just go count off the defensive players.
Okay, no,
who
you're
were
right about
gone.
that.
Not
You're
on
right
top of
about
that, their offensive players who were gone. They were a depleted team. You guys already
Wait
kind
a
of
minute.
had LA's number. You had their number. You did.
Hold on, Wesley. Hold on. You're talking about the Broncos. Hold on. Hear me out.
Oh boy.
The Broncos, who came out of the AFC West And let me remind you about the dumpster shit show that the AFC West is. The Raiders, enough said. The Chiefs fell apart quicker than any libertarian candidate running for office.
Oh, man.
And the Chargers were doing really, really well until Justin Herbert got hurt again. Why? Because he's a Ducks quarterback too. You guys got to tippy toe through that division. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna give you the only real combat you guys had was with LA. That's pretty much it. You can't. I mean, that's just how I look at it. I'm not gonna say we had the toughest run ourselves either. We didn't. But if you look at it, our offense wasn't a juggernaut. It just was not. Our defense really is what pulled us along. If our quarterback had not gotten hurt,
second to the Seahawks.
No. We were number 2 in total defense. If you look it up, we were number 2
in total defense. Yeah.
We were number
You're
2.
correct. You are right. You were second.
I'll leave it. Not to you. Not to you guys. You're using a different metric. You're not using
Hold on, before we go back to politics.
Go ahead. Let's get back to it.
Before we go back to politics, I'm just going to give you 2 words why you guys. Hold on. I'm going to give you 2 words, then we'll go back to politics. 2 words why you guys will not win the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Bo Nix. He's a Duck quarterback. Literally, he's a Duck quarterback. All you need to tell me that you're not going to win a Super Bowl is to have a Duck quarterback. You think about all the Duck quarterbacks that have played in the NFL. None of them have ever won a Super Bowl. Not Dan Fouts, not Marcus Mariota, not Justin Herbert, not Bo Nix. Huh?
You would have said ever been good. Okay, Bo Nix is the first. I think he has the rookie record. I mean, maybe second or some third or fourth or something like that in yards, total yards for a season in rookie for a rookie. Bo Nix is good. I didn't like him at first, but he's good.
Listen, he's a good. I'm with you, Wesley. I like Bo Nix. I think he's a good quarterback.
He's awful. And by the way, Doc Blackwell, no smiley faces in the room. I don't even want to talk about your Cowboys, man. All right. Let's go back to politics.
Yeah.
Damn.
Listen, Wesley, I wanted to ask you, Paul. We're
talking about education being a barometer for state spending.
Go ahead.
And the rules.
You can rephrase the question. Go ahead.
Well, I was just asking everybody if they could at least agree, right? Like you got to come up with a metric for what is it that if you look at a state legislature, and we have Washington State, we're controlled by Democrats, we're controlled by people on your side of the aisle, Wesley, right? I don't think anybody would agree with that or disagree with that. Hell, the Democrats have a supermajority in this state, and we have some of the most progressive state legislature members in the country. So,
and by the way, by supermajority, he doesn't mean a majority. That's super. But go ahead.
No, that's right. Well, by supermajority, listen, for those that don't know, if you have a supermajority like Washington State here, they've decided that the Democrats have decided that they, first of all, they want to do away with the initiative process. They don't want you or I as private individuals to be able to have and create and put forth initiatives for people to vote on anymore. They actually created, although it didn't make it through committee this year, it probably will in the next 2 or 3, a air tax, a tax for your carbon footprint as an individual. Let that sink in for a moment.
No,
we have a state here that has ruled, the Democrats have ruled everything here since 1988. So I just want to know if we can all at least use it as a barometer for this conversation, right? Spending when it comes to schools. That's a small enough segment of our overall state budget, right? It's a simple thing. They tax us, we pay our money in, our housing tax, right? Your housing taxes goes into the education fund. And that money goes to pay for teacher salaries, schools, kids' books, sports, athletics, all those different things, right? Can we all kind of at least use that as a barometer?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What about you, Wesley?
I think you're walking me into an alley right now. I think you're
walking me.
I'm gonna say I would say quality of life. I think it's a better barometer. Overall quality of life, like that includes like healthcare, education, just.
Well, I agree, but you're talking about everything. Yeah,
I mean, but that's when you look at. I know you're trying to walk us into somewhere where you already know probably that our education system has probably not done as well, but there's other reasons behind that. But overall, if you look at Washington State overall, I go some places where they still have a $9 minimum wage. So a person's telling me, "Oh, I have low taxes here. Will you?
Wesley, that's not a comparable." Brother, that's not a comparable thing, right? You might have a $9 cost of living in, Montana, or I'm sorry, $9 minimum wage in Montana, but the cost of living is much, much lower.
No, I understand that. And that's is what I'm trying to explain to them as well. Like they're telling, our gas prices are this here, where your minimum wage is $9. That's pretty much why you have your gasoline prices, your fuel prices where they are. And
Absolutely,
probably
there is a
your
correlation
education
there.
system, it's probably not as good. And there's probably a lot of other things that are not as good either. You probably, and if you look at Arizona, where they have $250, that if you go on unemployment, you're getting $250 a week. That's max. You're maxed out at $250 a week.
Yep.
And so
well, listen, you brought up education, right? You talked about education and how we're not doing a good job educating, right? And that's a big part of the problem. And we all agree with that, which is why I picked education to use as a focal point just for this part of the conversation, right? So we know in this state we have some of the highest gas taxes and a lot of others, right? So I think it's important to note, and here's the statistics about Washington State's education system. First, we're ranked 27th in the nation, just overall, total, okay? But part of that is because we actually have a really good advanced education system. Our colleges here are really good, and they have a very high Huskies. They have a very high graduation rate, right? But if we look at grade schools, right, which is kind of like that's what I tend to look at. I have a kid that's in he's going into high school next year, but fourth grade reading, 68% of students are below proficiency standards. 68%. I couldn't imagine statistics that low, right? Eighth grade math, 72% are below proficiency. That's insane. That's almost 3 out of every 4 kids.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
don't
is.
even do math at their proficiency level. Yet we're paying already this much in taxes. So my point is that, and I understand that you're progressive. I do. But my point here is that looking at just this progressive policies in Washington State, just progressive policies, because you pointed out you felt that we should be 60-40, progressive versus conservative, okay? But progressive policies, at least if we look at education, don't work. They're an abject failure.
What I would say, I think you have to look at the numbers across the board too. Where are these numbers coming from as far as what part of the state? Because they
come from the Annie Casey Foundation.
No, I'm not saying just exactly the numbers. I'm saying, okay, you cut the state down the middle, eastern part of the state, they probably have a lower education, grades than what they have on the western part of the state. There's probably other parts where they put more money into, because those are the people where the money lives.
Yeah, I don't disagree. You're correct
probably,
about that. That's 1,000% true.
So there's a lot of different little things that we have to look at when it comes to just overall numbers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disputing your numbers, but there's also reasoning behind it. Do we have a higher standard than other people have when it comes to what our standards are in this state?
Well, it's a national standard, so all the standards are the same across the board. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because that's why all the kids, they take their tests at the end of the year that your kids in school get all stressed out about. At least mine do.
So every state takes the same test?
Yes.
Yeah, it's standardized.
Standardized test. Yeah.
Paul, can you share again where you got those stats from?
Yeah. It is the Annie E. Casey Foundation.
Okay. If you maybe we'll post a link to that on the Facebook page if people want to
sure.
go through it when we're done. we had a couple comments in there.
I'll grab a link.
That.
I'll throw it up.
That's definitely is definitely something that we need to look at. I those are stats that I didn't know. I didn't know that we were 27th in the country in education. That's a pretty.
Well, that's a hard number, right? Because I was doing some research on my end as well, and I found websites that had us listed 6th in the nation.
I thought that was far.
You know what I mean?
I was like 27. That's because I'm gonna tell you why I'm kind of disputing it, because you did hit me with the Denver Broncos number to saying that you guys were number 1 and we were number 2, and that was you found the skewed numbers to help with that. And I didn't want to say anything about it.
We're in radio, brother. You got to find a stat to skew whatever you're saying. It's all good.
I kind of figured your stats might have been skewed here somewhere, but 27th, especially for Washington State, knowing how progressive of a state that we are is tough to kind of, especially when you're looking at states like Mississippi and all the other states out there. There's a lot of them out there that we know are not doing very well in education, and that's what
just to add in there, we're 4th in average teacher pay at $86,000 a year.
And I think both like what Wesley you talked about, you had them higher. I think you guys are both right. Because I think we have to look deeper, and we can do this at another time, but I think we have to look deeper what the sites are that are drawing this and what data they're using. Because a lot of these sites have their own agendas, right? They're trying to push a narrative. Either they're a left-leaning site that really wants to make the left-leaning states look better, or they're a right-leaning site that want to make the left-leaning states look worse. So I think we have to drill down into those numbers a little bit. But I will tell you, as somebody whose daughter graduated from Bremerton High School last year, there were students in her class that were in the bottom 10th percentile
and still graduated, no problem, no remedial stuff, no after school stuff. It feels to me, Wesley, like the school districts are trying to churn out kids and not close the gaps in the education so that they're really prepared to go to college and really prepared for the next phase of life. It's just, how quickly can we get them in and out?
No, I agree. I was a part of that same exact system. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like I was the stellar student in school. I didn't really like school as much, but at the same time, I do feel like, yeah, but at the same time, I was better at life than I was at school. I liked life a little bit better. It's a little easier for me. But I do feel like I tend to look at us at the end of the day. People, we vote. Now, why are we voting Democratic so heavily in this state? Do you guys have an answer for that? Just kind of a broad question for the panel. Why do you think
you ask that one more time, brother? I'm sorry, I apologize. I was posting in our chat room so Kevin could post those links in the site. Could you ask that again for me?
Why do you think our state is such a heavily Democratic voting state?
Great question. Do you want to take that first, Alicia?
I'm sorry, I was not paying attention.
Good. Why does this state vote Democrat so heavily?
Because they're all a bunch of fucking Looney Tunes. I don't know why.
When
I see these policies come out, they internally make me cringe, and I get to the point where I want to fucking vomit because Washington State always has to push the envelope so fucking far and be the greatest social experiment there is. In the United States.
I would say we're competing with California.
Well, that's
for that.
true too. It's like we're in a race.
Yeah,
Republicans are reading the gubernatorial race down there right now. So
it's the whole West Coast.
It's the left coast, right?
Yeah. And yet I think the problem that we have in Washington specifically, though, is our voter turnout sucks.
There you go, brother.
I don't think we get a balanced representation of everything. As far as voting goes, and part of that comes from some misunderstandings, I believe. I think that a vast majority of the people who vote in this state think that the populations of Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia are so big that they're going to make the decision for the rest of the state, regardless of how they vote.
Right.
The problem is, I don't remember the exact number, but it's only like 22% of the state lives in King County. It's actually a really small number, it's just barely over 20%.
We just need Republicans to show up.
What we need is everyone to vote.
Right, that too.
Yeah. Everybody should find their voice, and I talk to so many people that don't.
Yeah, they
complain about this. I'm taxed this way. I'm treated this way. But they don't go out and do anything about it. They or if they do, they listen to the national news and they go, "Oh, Orange Man bad." Don't misunderstand me. I'm not an Orange Man fan. But
no, you're not.
Yeah, Orange Man bad, so I have to vote for the D. No, you don't. There's more options.
Beeler loves the D. Listen, I have.
What's your point?
I have a different theory, Wesley, as to why people in this state tend to vote blue. And this won't be popular.
I'm watching
chat.
Kevin very closely because he knows the answer to this. He and I've talked about it so many times. So I want to see if he gives the right answer.
I'm going to give
the answer he thinks everybody wants to hear.
No, I'm going to give the answer I think nobody in the chat wants to hear, and they're going to yell at me for. I think part of the problem is the Republican Party in the state of Washington over the last 15 years has looked like the drunk uncle at a wedding.
Well, there's that.
Like they can't get along with each other. They take their spats public. They handle everything in the media. They look like they bicker with each other. They put up ridiculous candidates. Lauren Culp had no chance in God's green earth to win. Dave Reichert should have done a lot better, but didn't have mainstream. Let me finish. Let me finish, and then you can jump in.
Yeah, Culp smoked somebody in the debate.
He won the fucking primary. Are you kidding me?
Hold on. The primary is a lot decided by who the parties choose to back, right? And part of the issue is the party backed Dave Reichert, who should have been a much stronger candidate.
Different.
But they were so I know. But what I'm talking about is it's the parties who pick the winners. This idea that you really have a say in who the primary results are, the parties get behind who they want to get behind. The funders, the people with the money pick who they want to win, and then we're left.
The Republicans didn't pick Lauren Culp before the 2020 election.
No, if the Republicans had picked,
he won the primary, and they went with him after that.
I hear
nice
you.
Try.
Because he had money behind him.
What money did he have behind him?
He had to have had money behind him.
He was a sheriff of the town of Republic.
He was a sheriff of the town of Republic. There's no money in the Republic. The only money in the Republic is from the people that are escorting the meth out of the building.
Stop being dumb right now.
No, hold on. All I'm
this
saying
is why we have elections.
All I'm saying
literally
is
the point.
the Republican Party in this state is broke, and it's been broke for a long time.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
They don't have money to field a competitive race. They put up lousy candidates. They put up candidates that they know couldn't win. And more importantly, they've allowed backbiting and infighting to become front page news when the Democrats in this state have mastered the art of handling their stuff, for the most part, unless you're Tara Simmons, behind the scenes and out of the public spotlight.
Wesley didn't like that.
Some of that is because the media shelters it, but some of it is because the Republicans like to handle stuff out loud and everybody sees it.
Okay, so Kevin,
and by the way, what's wrong with picking on Tara Simmons?
Listen, Kevin. Okay, Wesley. First of all, let me apologize for Kevin's answer. I don't know why he veered away from the real answer to your question, and he went on that diatribe. Which, by the way, he was not wrong about, but it didn't answer your question.
Yes, it did.
So let me answer.
Hold on. The question was, why do Democrats keep winning? And my answer
his question was, why do people keep voting for Democrats?
Okay, right. Why do you keep people voting?
You talked about why Democrats are winning. That's part of that equation.
But I'm talking about why people vote for them is because they look at the Republican as the drunk uncle at a wedding reception.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll answer your question for real.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we all understand how voting works in this state. And to Tom's point earlier, voter turnout is a massive reason why. When you look at the demographics for Washington state in voting, you will find that Republicans are actually not too far behind. Registered Republicans are not too far behind registered Democrats, which leaves our independents in the middle. Okay. First, so to Kevin's point about poor candidates, they're not able to reach across the aisle and get any Democrats really to vote for them, and they're not able to capture the independent vote. The problem in Washington state is that most of your voting is done in Pierce, King, and Snohomish County. That's the bulk of this state's vote, because you have a 30% turnout in the rest of the state statewide. Okay. You may have equal numbers, but if one side chooses not to vote because for 40 some years, they haven't been able to win a single election, and they're so far behind in the total cumulative, right? You have a media that's to the left. That's the message that you're hearing. If you're the average independent living out in Mason County in the woods, okay, you're only getting one message.
That's it.
That's all you get. You're not even hearing the other side. You're not hearing your options. You've got a party that is so in love with this idea of total control, which there's no denying that the Democrats are right now. If you're a Republican and you're in the state legislature and they propose a bill, they don't even have to let you talk about it.
Right.
You're a Republican. You're in the minority party. We have a supermajority. We don't even want you to talk.
You don't even need to vote. Yeah.
You have to do nothing.
And Republicans have gotten to the point in Olympia where if they really want to build a pass, they have to hand it off to a Democrat lawmaker, because the leadership in the House and in the Senate will not even put a bill forward if a Republican is the lead name on it, because they don't want to give the opportunity for that guy to earn any credit or credence within his district for having put a bill forward that got elected. So now he has to step back and give it to a Democrat so the Democrat can run it and get credit for running the bill.
And isn't that some bullshit?
Democrats are so bold in Washington
That's not how
state.
our government was intended to work, and that's not the way that it should be working.
That's right.
Hold on,
Bunch
Wesley.
of fucking crap.
Wesley, what do you think?
Oh, I wasn't done.
Oh, you weren't done.
No, Democrats are so bold in this state, they put forth what are called ghost bills. Have you heard of a ghost bill, Wesley?
No.
Okay, so that's a bill where they just give it a title that just anything. Donald Duck eats grass, right? And they submit it. And they go, we're going to vote on this bill, Donald Duck eats grass, in the last week of the session, but nobody knows what's on it. Mind you, the bill's written. They know what's on it, and they know what they're going to say in it. But it is so socially unacceptable or politically unacceptable, they don't want comments on it. They don't want debate on it. So they go, okay, it's time for us to talk about Donald Duck eats grass. Now we're going to actually give it its name. You're paying 9.9% in income taxes. You don't even have time to read it and know a darn thing about it. Democrats are so bold in this state is that the leaders of the Democratic Party were filmed less than 3 months ago having a conversation about when they put forth the bill, they let people sign up to come talk about the bill. Specifically, this was about the income tax, okay? You know what they did? After that was all done, they literally said, yeah, we don't pay attention to any of those people. They don't listen to you.
That.
They don't listen to anybody.
You can Google it. You can find it.
It's on YouTube. I'm just saying that there is the progressives in Washington state are so drunk on power. They don't care what you think. They don't care what you have to say. They don't care what your opinion is. They don't care what your feelings are on anything. And they've been very clear about that. And taking away our ability to put forth initiatives should be illegal. In fact, I posted something not too long ago, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. There's an actual, in federal statutes, federal law allows for a state that basically becomes too overridden like this. The federal authorities are actually looking at Washington state now because the Democrats have exercised so much power, they have eradicated the ability of half of this state to have a voice.
Right.
And that is not how a republic works.
We should be represented just like everyone else.
Correct.
And we are not.
Not at all.
And especially you white men in this area, because Tara Simmons said, you guys are a danger.
That's correct. Well,
Good thing I'm Native American.
So did Miss Randall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm Native American.
Oh, it
I'm
was
safe.
Randall, wasn't it? It wasn't Simmons.
No,
was it Randall? Both of them did?
Hold on.
Simmons
Wesley,
said it as well.
Wesley, do you have a response? I know we're kind of talking over you. I don't mean to.
No, it's okay. Well,
But he
just to
asked,
kinda-
I'm just answering.
No, just to kind of look at the first part of it. If there was a population of people, not saying that the Republicans are not voting, but if they were there to vote, all of this information that you just put forth, it seems like someone could drum up that kind of support to get them out to vote. Like this is what you've watched. You've watched different candidates do this throughout the country. You know, they'll drum up support and get people out to vote. If there was that actual amount of people who could overthrow these regimes that you're talking about. This is not me saying that I support what's going on and all these things that you're talking about whatsoever. I did hear a panel one time where they were pretty much saying that they don't have to listen to the voter. I think it was a woman, but I'm not sure, had said something like this on a panel of like a Seattle board or something. I can't remember, but I do remember that part. That's
a good memory. You're better than me, man.
So I don't agree with that. I do think there does need to be a balance, but you have to run the right kind of a candidate in order for that balance to take place. You're
Totally
not running the right candidates. You guys ran, I think Rickert ran a few different times. Didn't he run a few different times?
Well, Riker ran for governor and lost, but he was an elected representative to Congress from Washington State.
No,
I think it was from the
believe-
4th. Yeah.
You guys, I think that knowing the terrain, knowing the type of people we have in the state, you cannot run a far right or even a middle right kind of a person. You almost have to run a fully kind of middle candidate as a Republican, who also has progressive views to a degree as far as maybe social programs and other things, but may have stronger.
Keep going.
But it's the only way you're gonna actually ever be able to get a foothold here. I mean, maybe I don't like the gun laws we have in this state. I don't agree with them at all, even as being a progressive. However, some people do. So you need someone who's more middle of the road Republican for this to ever work out, or else.
To Kevin's point, Wesley,
happen.
You're right. To Kevin's point earlier, he was talking about candidates, and I know that there's a huge debate within the Republican Party right now about rhinos, right? Republican and name only folks, which is a label that some people in the Republican Party put on a Republican that they think isn't far enough to the right. And that's a major issue in the gubernatorial race here, the last one, right?
That's what nuked the Semi-Bird Dave Riker.
It destroyed that. And, because some people supported Semi-Bird no matter what, and some bad information leaked out about him, and then it became a major cluster. And
I mean, he was kind of a dish.
Listen, we interviewed him 3 times. I'm not disagreeing with you. He even lied to us on air about some things. So I'm just making the point that Wesley is correct. Better candidates do have to be run. I don't disagree.
Right.
By the way, Semi, I hope that your new job at Burger King's working out for you. Hold on. I want to reply to a comment really quick, then we'll come back to this. So Robert said, what candidate have you financially backed, Kevin, from either party? Best I can tell, you have donated nothing. You had the opportunity to donate to the fabulous candidate sitting right next to you. So one, pandering to Beeler because she's sitting next to me is a stupid punk move. You could have asked about anybody else, but you made sure you picked Beeler because she's right next to me to try to make me look some kind of a pig to Beeler. That's a jerk move, Parker, but that's okay. I don't traditionally donate to candidates, and there's 2 reasons why. Now, before I do that, I'll give you the exception. I donated to Jesse Young's campaign when he the one he lost to Randall, and I donated to somebody running against Caldeer a couple of years ago just because I hate Caldeer. Okay, so I do occasionally. Normally, I don't. Why is that? One, I'm on a political talk radio show, and I want to make sure that I'm above board in everything I do. That's one.
That's the first thing you taught me when I got into radio, Kevin.
You don't donate. You're on a show. I don't donate. 2, smart people don't chase bad money, Robert. And bad money for me is donated to Democrats whose cause I don't like, or donated to Republicans that I know can't win. And my 20, 25, 50, $100, whatever it is donation would not have put Beeler over. It would not have put Abby Burlingame over. It would not have put any of these candidates over that got trounced by the Democrats in this district, in this state. And it's not that Beeler wouldn't have done a great job. She'd have done a wonderful job. But the problem is you're in Washington State and she's a conservative. That's bad money. That's a bad bet. You don't go to Vegas and bet on Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos to win the Super Bowl, because that's a bad bet that's going to lose.
Oh, you did that as a shot at Wesley.
It's okay. It's okay. You guys won this year. I'm happy for you. But back to your point.
Wesley, I love you, man. I love you, by the way. Thank you for taking it. I appreciate it. Okay,
but back to your point about even Washington State being investigated by the feds. I mean, we both know why that probably is. It's a pretty easy answer.
Yeah, it's all the fraud here.
Why? I mean, fraud's everywhere. We both know that. This either you can count them out. We can look at Minnesota and say the Somalis, and then look at the actual person who they caught with over $300 million, and it was not a Somalian person.
Who they catch? I don't know that story, by the way.
The ringleader was not a Somalian person. It was
I believe you.
European, as a Caucasian lady that was actually the ringleader of that.
Yeah, I saw a picture of her, but I didn't know the whole story. Thank you for filling that in for me.
But it's okay, And then at the same time, let's look at Texas. Let's look at how they start gerrymandering that state, and look at Louisiana. There's a lot of things we can look at and say, oh,
look at Virginia. You left Virginia out conveniently.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. At the end of the day, once you start letting something roll downhill, you got to kind of, you saw what they did in Texas first.
I don't disagree with you. I don't like gerrymandering. I don't like. I know some people love it, but I do not like it.
Taking away representation from the. I'm not happy about it in Virginia. However, what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. You can't play a game when a person knows he's going to lose office. Yeah. Let the people vote. That goes for everyone. I believe in that. I just feel like in this where we live at, in our state and even in our county, we're just a more progressive people here. That's just what it is. I think we just have, not everybody, I'm sure, like you said, in Mason County, in the woods, those people are probably voting Republican. Let's be honest. Once you get to places that are more rural places, they're voting Republican. There's just not enough of them out there. That's just, kind of what it is. Like
we try to pop kids out faster, Wesley. We're just not good at it.
I think it's, I think it's just population centers. People move to where the jobs are. That's just what it boils down to. It's not even so much
smart
just
people
kids,
move to where the jobs are.
And they're like, oh, but the biggest thing to me is like this. Are we not all Americans at the end of the day? People say, oh, California is this. And I'm like, why are we talking about California people like they're not Americans? Just because a person chooses to live in California does not make them an American. If a person lives in Iowa, does that, you get what I'm saying? Like we sit here and we're like, oh, those people over here in Iowa, that's still an American. We're going to still have to go fight the same exact war.
Listen, absolutely. And this might make Kevin cringe, but I quote President Clinton, right? There is more that is right with America than is wrong with America. And that's to your point, Wesley. We're all on the same team. The problem is we're reading different playbooks.
Yeah.
And it makes it a little hard to advance the ball.
I just think that we're not, people just are voting against their own self-interest. We're angry about the wrong things. Even if we take away taxes, there's a lot. Do you believe that education should be funded by tax dollars?
Oh my gosh, we so overfund education here in Washington State. We have to rein that shit in. We have teachers that are making over $100,000 a year.
Do you think that that's bad? The teacher makes $100,000 a year.
I don't think it's bad at all. If they're good teachers,
at all. I think it has to be merit based. Everything should be merit based. But I mean,
you're not wrong there.
It's not, Wesley. That's the problem.
We wouldn't be 27th if it was merit based.
And let's I don't think we're 27. I think that might be a skewed number, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and ride with that number.
All right, I appreciate that. That's good. I don't want to have to research it.
It's okay. But what I'm saying though, I mean, so what would be your I don't know your name in the middle. I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Alicia?
Professor Beeler?
Professor?
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful by no way, shape, or form. Alicia, yeah. Alicia, okay. What would be your ideology as far as education is concerned in our state? If you had the reins to the education budget or the education, budget, what would you do?
Good person to ask, as she is a college professor.
Well, number one, I would stop taking taxes from so many different sources like we do here in Washington State. Not only do they get lotto money, they also get weed money. I'm sure there's multiple other designated forms of it.
Well, it comes right out of the general fund.
Right. And I remember in the 80s when we made the lotto legal here in Washington, that that was the selling point. Hey, we're going to fund schools with this money.
It's for the kids.
And then we passed marijuana, and that was supposed to also be for education and for education on, drug abuse and stuff like that.
Same thing with liquor tax.
And I feel like what's happening here in Washington State is that our legislature, I really think that we need an audit of where that fucking money is going, because I don't believe that it's going where it's supposed to be going. And I've seen evidence of that. And I really hope that somebody investigates that further. So
you're right.
That's where I'm at with it. If we were using the things we said we were going to use for education, then that's fine.
Yeah. Let me use an example of my son, 14 years old. He's in the 8th grade.
Smart kid.
Mine too.
And great kid. But he lives with me 50% of the time, but I drive him to where his mom lives for school, which is the Peninsula School District. Okay. That's a sparsely populated peninsula. Yet those kids, their meals are all free.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's
they
across
have
the state.
They have everything that you could imagine
That's
in that
across
school.
the state. Yeah. That's
So,
every school in the state.
I would double
That is
check that.
every school in the state.
Are you sure?
They've made school lunches free for every school in the state.
Every school?
I want to go back to school.
Hold on.
I
Here's
miss
why I
that
ask.
pizza.
If that's the case, then how come I'm getting money owed on student lunches every week? I get an email on it, how much money I owe.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
heard
just
that
saying,
either.
I don't think
I know
that's
that Minnesota
statistic
they
is
have
true.
that.
It might be, but
which
something
school?
is askew for Key Peninsula Middle School.
The middle schools in Washington get free lunches. So do elementary school.
Well,
and I'm pretty positive that the high school is there as well.
Well, they might be. I'm just telling you, but I get an email.
So hold on, let me read this to you.
Yeah.
We'll correct this. So under Washington State law, House Bill 1238, elementary schools with 30% or more students eligible
Now
for
we're getting
free
into
or
it.
reduced price meals must provide breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students. So that 30% number is the number. And I hate to break it to you, if you're in the Peninsula School District in Gig Harbor, where there's a lot of money, they probably don't qualify for that, which is probably why Paul's getting billed.
That's probably
So to that, and then you go to Mason County, right? Which there's a grade school and the junior high and the high school right down the street from my house. Like those kids have nothing. They don't even have a lot of sports programs because the tax base, the people paying taxes, right? They just don't have the money.
Right.
And so there's just, I mean, we're talking 5 miles between schools, right? And it shows the disparity that's there, which is why I point to the poor use of funds. To your point, it should be, really looked into and audited.
So coming out of the chat, and I agree with it. It might maybe be because one of the people in the chat that brought it up is a fellow libertarian. But if we attach the annual money per student, was it $21,000 we were talking during break?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if that $21,000 stays with the kid, right, and follows that kid, then it turns into a free market.
Agreed.
And now the schools have to compete for those dollars.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
they're going to give you a better quality education.
Absolutely.
I do not disagree.
Yeah.
I think
And it's
that makes
interesting. I
sense
think
as well.
Wesley, what are you? So you're
I
agreeing
agree.
with that idea?
No, I agree. 'Cause
Okay.
Using tax revenue from the locality doesn't work. We all know that because that means that people who have more money, the higher, real estate areas are going to bring in more money. They're going to be able to educate their kids better. You should definitely spread it across the board. It should be, there should be a universal type. I believe in universal education. I believe in universal healthcare. That's just my personal belief. I believe that's what when you're at a point as a country or even as a state where you've gotten to. When we were younger, we may not have had cable because we didn't have the money for it. But we're not at that point anymore as a country. We're at a point in the country is that you want to educate your people and you want to make sure they're healthy. If you don't, then you're pretty much setting them up so that they can lose their home when they get get cancer or some other catastrophic disease, or that's just pretty much what we're setting ourselves up for. We have a bad system in place, and that's why I believe in those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so back to what we were just talking about, because I know that I had heard that when the income tax was signed, Inslee made school lunches free K through 12 in Washington State using that income tax money.
Oh, so it hasn't gone into effect yet.
So, but why do we have to use that money when we already have multiple other funding sources putting that money into the system? And meanwhile, senior citizens' property taxes are going through the roof. on a fixed income and are getting priced out of their homes because they can't continue to sustain that level of output.
So and we got to get Wesley's thought on this, but Wesley, my position on what Alicia just said is it's a direct result of progressive policies. So explain to me how I'm wrong.
I can't tell you that you're wrong. I just think
Thank
that
you. I'm right.
this is what I'm this is what I'm going to say. I think that you can say that, but at the same time, it's also a direct result of bad Republican counter policies as well too. If people can only see from one side of the aisle,
They're not being instituted. If they can't pass, they're not being instituted.
But you have to. I'm gonna say it like this. I remember when Bernie Sanders got beat by, I think it was
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and we all know that he should have won that race. And
He should have.
I say that, at the end of the day, Bernie, if you're going to win, you would have won. And I like Bernie. I would have voted for him over Hillary.
So you were a Bernie bro?
I won't say that, but I
No
would have
shame
voted
in it.
for
He got
not saying
screwed.
it's a bad thing, but I would have voted for Bernie over Hillary. But
yeah,
if you don't know how to win, that's on you. Just like down in Texas with Jasmine Crockett. If you can't win, then you can't win. That's just what it is. So
she kind of got screwed too in that redistricting. And you're right. I don't disagree with you, but there was a very specific reason that Bernie got asked out in that election. That was because Democrats utilized something called a super delegate.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
And their vote counts, and so they really. I mean, the Democrat Party is who really screwed him.
But at the end of the day, but he could have had. It's all about having the back office side of it as well. You can't. It's not just about. Sometimes you have to have that other part of it. What was going to happen when he ran against Trump? We would have made another excuse. There's no excuse. Either you're going to win or you're not. And we do need. There does need to be a counterbalance. So, but therefore, someone needs to step up and be able to articulate this argument better, because it's not happening.
Yeah, I get you, man. So is that what if you were the coach of the Broncos, you would have told him? I'm just kidding. Keep going. I'm sorry, Wes.
It's okay. I'm over it now. I'm over it. You have no idea. It hurt my heart when it happened, but I'm over it. It's okay. I've been a Broncos fan for 30-something years. It's okay.
But here's the larger issue to me, and this will probably get into a larger social question, and we don't have to go down this road if we're not ready to yet. But I think it gets down to the issue with the government continuing to pick winners and losers in our communities, right? If we talk about how, like, education funding in inner city school districts have been horrible, and that's why the inner city school district numbers are so low, is because it's a poorer tax base, so they don't get as much along the lines of taxable contributions into it, so they don't have the money to spend on the education, and you just continue the cycle, right? Meanwhile, richer communities,
to Alicia's point,
richer communities like Gig Harbor, where they have more money and higher property values, pay higher taxes, so then they can funnel that all, they have to funnel that into the school districts, and now they've got more money. So you got Peninsula School District that can have have you ever been to the Peninsula High School football stadium? I did some playoff games down there for the Suns several years ago. Like, that stadium is gorgeous. Like, they spent more money on that stadium than they spent in a gymnasium in some of these inner city district down in Tacoma, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I really feel like we have to do as a state, educationally specifically, but even in some of these other programs, is get these barriers knocked down, right? Instead of us spending money district to district, you are taking a community that has a lower tax base to begin with and basically conditioning them to stay in that tax base. You're in a poor area, well, we're going to spend poor and we're going to keep you poor. You're in a rich area, we have more money, so we're going to spend rich and we're going to keep you rich. And we are continuing that separation. We talked earlier about the elimination of the middle class. This is part of the issue, and it's not, it could be a race discussion. We can get into that, but it really is this idea of, okay, you have money, therefore you have power, therefore you have position, and that's protected. And you don't have any of that, and you're at a disadvantage. And the ability to climb out of that, especially through an education, the way that these lines are drawn and how money's paid into it, is next to impossible. And so we talk about the Mason School District, right? That's another thing, right?
One of the poorest counties.
One of the poorest counties. Wealthiest. And so why is it one of the poorest? Or why is the education numbers down there not great? Because it's one of the poorest in the state. They can't afford all this stuff. You go to these ritzy neighborhoods in West Seattle, where they're giving their students laptops and tablets and everything else that they want, that they need for a great education.
Yeah, you seen Mercer Island High School?
Yeah, and then you wonder why there's a discrepancy. We have to take down these boundaries, because these boundaries benefit. Listen, if Paul's kid is going to Belfair and we can't give him a comparable education to the kid that's on Mercer Island, excuse my French, we are fucking shit up. We really are. We're doing our kids a disservice, because where they were born as opposed to what state they live in and what type of education they're entitled to, we're doing something completely wrong.
So maybe we should just deregulate all of it.
Absolutely.
You can't deregulate.
Why?
Because
you simplify it. You deregulate everything. All the tax money goes into one pot, and you have X number of dollars per student, because there's this many thousands
I don't
of
disagree
students.
with that.
And then that dollar follows them
and
wherever they go.
That dollar follows the kid, and it goes into a free market, and it's all deregulated.
And that is a Republican talking point. And we all agree with that.
And I don't disagree with that at all.
I'm not a Republican.
But when you talk about deregulation, I thought you meant getting rid of public schools.
No.
No, I agree.
Lord,
I agree. Well, this is Tom we're talking about over here. Tom would have anarchy. He'd be like, you know what? Let's not give the kids an education. Let's give them each a couple of switchblades and see who wins.
Well, that's an option too.
But I really believe that we parts of this system have to be torn down. And I don't mean
most of the system has
I'm
to
not
be torn
advocating
down.
for riots or violence or nothing like that. But some of these systems have to be torn down and redone, because the way that we're doing them and the way that we've been doing them for decades, if not a century, is not working. It's just not working.
I agree 110%. I agree. I feel like.
Welcome to the Republican Party, Leslie.
No. I don't think the Republican Party pushes for this exactly. Though. I don't think that they do. I don't think they come out this way as far as education and try to push for it. They try to push for privatizing education. They try to push for privatizing pretty much everything. And we see what privatization does.
Wesley,
Right?
they're offering a choice. That's all it is.
School choice.
We just want to be
free
able
market.
to go to school where we want to go to school. That's it. It's not about privatization at all.
Although, I mean, privatization's the most efficient way to do
absolutely.
anything.
I agree with that.
The government will, if the government's involved, they'll fuck it up.
Yeah.
Period.
Without a doubt.
So Wesley, the theory is your kid gets $21,000 or whatever it is a year, and then you get to have a conversation with your kid about where they want to go to school, and maybe you live in the Bremerton School District, but you look at those test scores, you're like, you know what, North Kitsap's way better than Bremerton in their schools. You know, I can transfer this money. I can take him. I'll drive my kid to North Kitsap every day for a better education.
So not everyone can do that. We start breaking it down. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And that in theory it works, but okay, now name how many parents who are poor that can actually get up and be able to take their kid to North Kitsap, pick them back up, do everything that goes along with it. You know, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. That's just not. It's not just a perfect science. You know, a lot of kids are taking.
You're right. It's not a perfect science.
There's just
You're
a
right.
lot of things a lot of moving parts that would scare more people than what the way you're saying it. It just sounds like rich kids are just going to be able to choose their schools, go where they need to go, and no one else is going to be able to reach where they're going to get to anyways. It's just what it sounds like to most people.
Wesley, and this is where this disconnect happens between Republicans and Democrats. I bet your ass we have more in common than we have separating us.
Absolutely.
And it is the constant barrage of the right is bad, the left is bad, that has people at each other's throats. And I see it. I was a Democrat for the first part of my life. And then when I went to college, I became a constitutional conservative. I did that on my own, which is opposite of what usually happens. You usually go left or
Usually
people
pop out a
left or
kid
right.
or two first, then you become a conservative.
Oh, is that usually what happens?
I don't know.
Start paying taxes.
Yeah, well, amongst other things.
So that's all I'm saying.
I think that it's the delivery of the message. You guys don't deliver a very good message to them. Not saying you in particular. This
No,
is not
I know
about
what you're
people
saying.
who
Yeah,
are-
yeah.
The
yeah.
message is that it doesn't get delivered very well, and then when you look at it, it's smothered in other things like epithets and a bunch of other stuff. And you look at the party as a whole, and you don't see representation of yourself in that party. I don't see representation of myself in the Republican Party at all. Not
And
at
I
all.
don't see it in the Democrats at all either.
I think you brings up a really good point.
Yeah.
Are we talking
Go
about
ahead.
statewide? Are we talking about
We're talking all. I don't agree with the policies
about,
that get passed.
No,
I don't.
I'm looking at, okay, sometimes you have to lay where you think that things are going to roll best. Obviously I'm a black man, and so I understand the history of this.
Wait, what? Wait, are you sure?
We've already opened that door a minute ago, you know.
And the Broncos fan.
So I have to like look at things from a historical standpoint, and also look at things like where are we heading. You know, it's not a perfect science. Not to say this is the perfect party. I understand where this party came from. These are all the same people at the end of the day. But I'm attaching my horse to where it's more than likely I have a voice. And I don't have a voice in the Republican Party. And they make that very clear that you do not have a voice here and you're not wanted in that party. And that's why a lot of people
never experienced that.
But the difference is we have to look at each other, and there's a difference between what we're going to see when we watch. And we can watch the same exact television show and we will see it differently because
100%. Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But I have never, ever heard anyone within any party politics, either the Republicans or the Tea Party, any of them say something like that because it's a black man. That we, especially in Washington, maybe you do, but I do not. I have not experienced that from any conversation I've ever had. I haven't had someone come up and say anything racist about anyone else, black, Asian, Mexican, whatever.
It depends on what you consider racist too, though. I'm not saying that you don't consider everything racist that I do. I'm not saying that at all. I want you.
No, and you have a different life experience, so I definitely understand.
And so I've seen a lot of things in my life, and not to sit here and say, oh, woe is me, because this is life and life goes on. You must move forward. However, this is why a lot of people do not, because you're not, the message that you're bringing to the table and who you attached your horse to, not saying you, but just the party as a whole, does not resonate with people who look like me. It just does not. I know I have about 60 representatives in the House in the Democratic Party right now. I know where the Dixiecrats come from, but I also understand evolution. I don't have to be stuck in 1860 something. I can evolve along with the same people who were pretty much would have been whatever they're going to be, which was convenient for them. And also see about 4 or 5, maybe 6 senators who look like myself. I see one who was appointed in the very beginning of his term, who smiles at everything, no matter what it is that's being said around him. Even when you have the Obamas in monkey suits on the screen, and everyone wants to pretend like we don't understand what's going on. And so but that's not the biggest thing. It's also economics. It's also the economics of everything. You look at who was laid off more by when this man came into power. This is not to blame him. I look at the people who voted for him. He went after federal workers, understanding that black women are a good chunk of federal workers. More of them were laid off, than anyone else. When it can't, we have to look. We look at everything from a scope of what the true facts of what's happening are. And I would love to see a person run from the opposite party. I used to like Matt Ryan because I liked the fact that he was analytical. I liked Ross Perot when I was a kid. I would have voted for him. I didn't know. I was kind of a little bit off because I didn't understand socially that he probably wouldn't have been great for me. But economically, I understood what he meant. And I was right. Young when he was, I didn't have the right. I couldn't have voted then, but I was young. I was in school. I actually went to the school board and was appointed to speak on behalf of him. I liked what they used some of his economic policies going forward because he understood he was trying to get us debt neutral. I believe in that. But overall, that's the problem. We don't have anyone who can run down the middle. And I wish it could be you because you have a very strong voice. I do like the fact that you're very passionate when you speak. But you need somebody who can run down that middle gap and say, okay, these are some policies that I can bring along, but these are some policies that we need to kind of counteract some of this bad stuff going on, like raising of your electricity bills. Like I didn't know about that. I think DMAC had spoken to me about that a little early, maybe a few weeks ago or something. But these are things that you guys should be pushing, but your agenda is not being based around the correct things.
Well, hold on. We got to go to break. We're at the top of the hour. We got to go to break.
I'm kind of long.
I got this.
Robert Parker finally made an intelligent comment that I agree with.
Kevin.
He said that it's about the corruption forced by the teachers union. We can talk about that at some point. The teachers union's got a lot of power educationally in the state. Congratulations, Robert, on 2.5 hours into the show, and you made a comment.
Kevin, can you just be nice for
also, Corey said, and Corey, I love you, Corey, but I'm gonna push back a little bit. Because you said, why does it always come down to race? We've been chatting with Wesley for 2 hours. and this is the first time the race discussion came up. So I would push back and say that
I didn't bring it up first either. I did not bring it up first either.
That's okay.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, we've been talking for 2 hours and it just came up in the last 5 minutes. I
And
don't
I'm
think that's
going
an
to put
accurate
that race
comment.
question to bed when we come back from break.
Okay. Also, I do want to talk a little bit about what's going on in Iraq because we talked about it to open the interview with him. The conversations are getting involved in there.
Absolutely.
And at 9:30, I'm going to bring up a conversation that'll sound like it's about football, but it's not. We'll talk about that as well. It's Outlaw Radio. Stick around. 4 more hours to go.
And Wes is
4 hours. We're back after this. Outlaw Radio.
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional.
This episode of Outlaw Radio Network brought to you by Destination Highway 420 in Bremerton. If you're looking for a knowledgeable cannabis shop with a great local vibe, check out Destination Highway 420. They offer a wide selection of Washington State cannabis products, including flower, pre-rolls, edibles, and concentrates from trusted producers across the state. Their friendly staff can help you find exactly what you're looking for in a relaxed, welcoming environment. Visit Destination Highway 420 at 1225 Hollis Street in Bremerton. Must be 21 years or older with valid ID.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network.
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance, Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network, powered by our friends at Destination Highway 420, proudly supporting our veterans in the Bremerton community. Visit them online at destinationhighway420.com. 21 and over.
Cannabis has intoxicating effects that may be habit-forming. Keep out of the reach of children.
The older people, I know you're getting a little edgy right now, but you better get into me because I don't want to bum you out, but I'm the future of America.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. It's kind of stony, huh?
It's a real thing. A radio signal from another world.
The United States government presents
the Outlaw Radio Network. Outlaw Radio Network.
To provide guidance to mankind.
All right, Outlaw Radio. So really quick, what I recommend you do, if you're a member of the Outlaw Faithful, go over and look on Facebook for Webb's Network Media 360 and like them and follow them. Check out their shows. Check out Wesley and D-Mac Uno and all their shows. Their political, their sports. I heard you guys have a show on how to make souffles and cooking and stuff, so that's great. And if you're friends with Webb's Network Media 360 and you like what we're doing on Outlaw, you can like us too. We can just have a giant community podcast.
Yeah, let's shoot for the kumbaya moment.
Yeah,
they have a cool one on Friday nights. The Friday pick.
I appreciate you. I appreciate that. It's kind of a little different. It's not political. It's just us just talking about life.
Talking
about life and talking some trash.
So hold on, was it kind of like the old big radio show, kind of?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, you guys. I used to host a show called The Big Radio Show, dude. I was so offensive. It was a great time. I signed so many women's asses. It's a long story, man. I'll tell you all about it later.
And the football picks, I think we need to get involved with that. Kind of incorporate the two because they do like a full hour.
Do they?
Oh my God.
Of football picks.
Oh, Beeler would love that.
I will ditch out. I am not
but I'd
doing
say,
that.
I have a couple from our show.
I
on
love
there.
football, but
And
no.
we could collect what we collect on Sunday.
Well, Wesley, it's hard for me to get a word in sideways around here sometime, but did I hear that you guys have a UFC show too, like MMA, UFC?
Yes, with LT, he does a UFC show. He's pretty good at picking the picks, so he does well. I don't know much about him. I'm not a really huge MMA fan, more into boxing, but he's
I love some good MMA.
Are you guys gonna watch the fight coming up in May between Gina Carano?
Oh my God, I
and,
want to watch that.
I really want to see that.
Me
fight.
too.
What you got thoughts on that, Wesley?
I'm not. Like I said, I don't know much about the MMA. I can't say that. Who is she fight? Who is she fighting? Is it
she's fighting Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
I mean, Ronda's made her name
out of retirement. Yeah.
I hate to say this. This will not be appropriate, but Ronda Rousey can beat the crap out of me anytime. That's all I got to say.
Whatever.
That's all I got to say. And Gina Carano could beat the crap out of me too. And if I'm really lucky, they'll both beat the crap out of me. So it's probably good.
Maybe you'll have a good dream tonight, Kevin. You could take that in there with you.
After I do every show with you, Beeler, I have a good dream.
What? Ew.
What?
That's so icky.
What? Hey, Beeler.
What?
How you doing, baby?
Shut
Okay.
the fuck up.
So, Wesley, do you watch professional wrestling?
I don't. I used to as a kid. I did. I watched it all the time.
Great interview, Wesley. We'll talk to you later, man. Have a good night. We appreciate you.
Kevin, not everybody likes oiled up men in their underwear roughhousing, okay? In fact, I will quote somebody, I won't mention Beeler's name, who said it was the gayest thing she'd ever seen.
That's saying a lot considering she hangs out with you and Tom.
But
so
she watched diligently.
That's right.
Let's get back to our conversation. I
That
think
was
this was a
all
great.
for science. That's all.
This was
Just science. Come on.
So
Peter's like, I saw a lot of gay stuff in college.
I want to
Saw it. I was in it.
Wesley brought up a really good point that he does. Like now, pure clarification and transparency. I'm not a Republican, although I am a conservative American and a constitutionalist. Having said that, You brought up an interesting point, Wesley. You said you don't feel like there's anybody speaking for you, that you have a place in the Republican Party.
Right.
Am I accurately kind of describing your feelings on that?
More or less, I think it's just they don't give off that. They don't give a welcoming vibe to people who, like myself, I should say.
Why? What kind of, is there like one overriding thing, or what kind of things make you feel that way?
Man, I mean, again, back to the beginning of the show, where do you start with this? I mean, you look at the tack they've taken with just in the last, what do you want to say, 10 years? And we can kind of go back 10 years and kind of see a lot of people, they kind of looked at it as when Obama, this is go national. I could go local too as well. But
go national.
After he was president, pretty much they said, oh, that changed the country. The country was, he divided the country. I didn't see where that came from, but I'm sure people have a view on that. And so
I don't feel that he did, but you're right. Some people said that.
Yeah, I think our country just took a turn. Like that was something that was a shock to the system at that point in time when he kind of became president, became a shock to the system, and so we took a turn towards something that I think is a kind of it's an anomaly. It's something that's going to pop up when you're kind of changing, when the guard is kind of changing in this country. We see where the direction of the country is going. They're trying to stop immigration. It's hurting our numbers. Stopping immigration overall hurts your population numbers. Our population is what keeps us strong. This is a part of our economic system, everything. And this guy who's doing it understands it as well. The people don't understand at the education level. They don't understand that's hurting us by excluding immigrants from this country, by not allowing immigrants to be in open arms towards that. That was a good thing for us. We all understand population and how population correlates into wealth and everything else. I'm sure we all do. But so that's it. Just when looking at these things, and on top of that, just the rhetoric, the things that they're implementing, the things they're coming out saying, oh, we want to get reparations for these people. We see it's blatantly obvious. I know that everyone here we're all very smart people. I can look across this board and I can tell we're all well versed in what's happening, and you see it as well as I do. You may not take it the same way, but you see it and you understand it. And and I think maybe it's more convenient if the pushback's coming and it's helping out what you believe in versus the truth of the matter. It's hurting this country as a whole. And that's how I look at it. It's not just about, because I'm a person, a black man, person of color, that I feel this way. I look at the country. It's hurting the country. We are going to evolve into a different type of country here. The power structure is going to change. Either you help and foster it and say, hey, we want to foster this change, be a part of it, or you try to stifle it and you hurt the whole country. That's just kind of how I see it.
This is interesting. I mean, to me, this is part of a much deeper, broader conversation. But I do appreciate what you're saying, and that's why I'm asking the questions. Right, I want to understand where you're coming from. Very few, and I'm not knocking progressives when I say this, but we've been doing this show for 26 years. The hardest people for us to get to come on air with us are progressives, and that's with a show that only has, out of the four of us hosts that are sitting here, only one of them is a Republican, and that's Professor Beeler. Right? Tom's a libertarian, Kevin's a Democrat, and I'm an independent, but I'm a constitutionalist, right? I believe in the John Adams school of thought. We're a nation of laws, not men. Now, I know that the system is flawed, and I'd love to be able to change it, but I'm only one person. But I think that personally, I think that a lot of people in this country, and I'm not saying this about you per se, because I haven't walked in your shoes, so I don't want to pretend that I have. They get this idea, and I'm talking specifically about the Republican Party here, because I've seen it firsthand interviewing candidates. They get the idea that, well, there's no room for me in that party because of all of these different reasons. But I get the impression that you're saying there's no place for you, no voice for you. You don't have a place in the Republican Party or as a conservative, because of the color of your skin. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I think that I don't want to overly simplify it, because it's not just that, because I do believe that people of color are much more aligned with true Republican values than people even think. I think you're right about that. Look, I could talk about certain things that I probably don't want to say on air, but you look at California when it was Prop 8 in 2008 came out, when they tried to pass. Who stopped that from passing? Voted 90% against it. No, we voted 90% against it. Was black people voted 90% against that.
Yes. I thought you were talking about the money, and that was a lot of money came in from Utah and the Mormon Church. But go ahead.
Yeah, but 90%, because our value systems are set up a certain kind of way. Not to say we're against it. I'm not against it. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem.
I think most people in Washington State are okay with gay marriage.
Don't have an issue, but I'm just saying our values, gun rights, our values are more aligned with that. It's just that we're not aligned with the rhetoric that comes from it. We're not aligned with the kind of the push that comes from it. And it's overly obvious that that's not. We don't want you here. Who do I put in my cabinet? Oh yeah, we're gonna make you Department of Social Services. That's 2 times now. We got that one. That's it. Yeah. That's about it. That's all you're getting out of this one right here. You're gonna get that and be happy with that. And you're not gonna if we're not in the room, I think you're talking about me. That's how I feel about it. If I don't have representation in the room, there's a problem. There's an issue here.
How Republicans feel in this state. Yeah. I mean, literally, that's exactly what you're describing.
No, but I totally understand that, but I think that's a different type of thing right there. That's like, you have to get people out to vote for you. That's different.
You're right. I don't disagree.
You're right. Appoint his cabinet, and who he's telling you, this is who's going to help me run this country. We voted for these people as a whole, of course, different counties, everything like that, broken up, but that's kind of on the people. Yeah. And then this is also on the people when we put this person in power to do what he did as well. And that's where that kind of thought process comes from. Like, okay, this is how we feel.
Yeah.
As a nation.
And listen to your point earlier, right? And coming from somebody who worked as an immigration facilitator for a year, right? There's a lot of misinformation out there about immigration. as a whole, the whole process. For example, you were talking about immigrants coming here and how they fit into the system. That's very true. They do. But the ones that come here legally, for example, let's take the farm workers in Eastern Washington. They have an H-1B visa program. They get to come here. It's a flawless system, and it's worked that way for 100 years. And it's literally a farm worker visa, right? Though there's no problem with any of those folks coming here and doing what they got to do. That's not the issue. The issue is the people that come here illegally and then leech off the system, right? When you see hotels being used and flooded with illegal immigrants in New York, for example, right? And then they have to build entire encampments for them because there's just too many there. Like there are so many different parts to that equation, and that unless you've been within that system, it's very hard to put it all into perspective, right? And most people don't, and the media doesn't cover it. All the media does is they'll go out and they'll say, right, if you're watching a left media station, they say, look at all these poor people, they're being rounded up. Right now, if you watch a left-leaning news station or report, they'll tell you that whatever his name is from Honduras got picked up and he left his wife and his 4 kids behind and he didn't do anything and he's a good guy. What they don't tell you is 10 years earlier he was convicted of rape and he already had an extradition order, right? Well, he's already supposed to have left, right? But he didn't. Go ahead.
If you look at even the vast majority of immigrants who come here, they're not coming to leech off the system. They're not coming here saying, "Oh, $400 a month is enough for me to be happy." They're not. They're coming here to work. We know. I don't know. I know you guys have probably all traveled out the country. You go out the country, people have 3 and 4 jobs. They're working, not just jobs. Okay, they may have a job. They can't afford to just live with one type of thing. This is why their mentality is different. People say, why do people from India or Africa or anywhere work? Because their mentality is built around that, because they have to. Their jobs are not enough for them to survive.
Sure.
So when they come here, they're figuring out. Go ahead. So to try and use not saying you're using that, but
sure.
Oh, they're here to get on welfare, and they're not most I would say 8 out of 10, probably even 9 are not built that way. They're not even wired that way. That's not why they're coming here. And
yeah, I actually don't disagree with you on that. I know some immigrants that are here illegally that are very hardworking individuals, but I'll give you a very personal specific for me. I'm going to talk about my dad's business, right? I'm a contractor by trade. My dad has a couple of concrete pumps, which is the hardest work a man could do, or woman. Mostly men. I've seen
my brother does concrete work.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about if you've seen him, right? You're just exhausted. It's hard physical labor. So my dad goes out there. He does his business the right way. He's licensed, bonded, and insured. And he goes out and charges $450 to show up on a job site and pump concrete. Okay, there's a crew of 3 guys that are here illegally that run a legally licensed concrete pumping business. Right? They charge half of what my dad does. And why are they able to do that? Because they're not paying taxes. They're not legally licensed. They're insured, because that you don't have to be a citizen to do that. You can get your UBI number, you can get your tax identification number, and you can run a legal, legitimate business, but be here illegally. And if you're here illegally, a lot of things don't apply to you, right? But you still, especially if you have a woman who gets pregnant and has a kid, now your child's a U.S. citizen. Now you're eligible for all those benefits. So I think that gets overlooked a lot. Right. And it's an issue that I know that they're trying to address. I do not believe that the Supreme Court will overturn the 14th Amendment. I think it's too sensitive of a topic right now. But nonetheless, there are very legitimate issues with illegal immigrants being here. And it does affect tax-paying Americans, because guess what? They go to the hospital. They don't pay that bill. You pay it. I pay it. Right. And then we wonder why our costs for healthcare go through the roof. Right. Not that some Americans aren't doing the same thing, because they certainly are. And I mean, we have working poor in this country. There's no doubt about that. But that's a legitimate issue. And I think a lot of these topics are driven, as we discussed before, by a for-profit media, okay, who the more they divide, the more they piss people off, the more money they make, and the higher their ratings go. And I think that there's a really good, if you haven't read it, there's an economics professor I think he's from Harvard. His name is Roland Fryer. And he did this paper called An Empirical Analysis of Racial Differences in Police Use of Force. This was an amazing paper. And if you've never read that, I'll happily send you a link to it. But here's what he found. What he found was, and I'm paraphrasing here really quick because we don't have a lot of time, but what he found was the narrative that's out there is completely false. There's not the African Americans, unarmed African Americans are not being shot at overwhelming numbers by police officers. In fact, one of the main points that he found was that blacks and Hispanics, while they are more than 50% more likely to experience any non-lethal force compared to whites. It includes being pushed, handcuffs, and all the rest of that stuff. But lethal force, regarding the most extreme outcomes, officer-involved shootings, the analysis found 0 racial differences in the data. And this is an African-American economics professor.
Yeah.
And he was told by his fellow professors not to publish this paper simply because it went against the narrative that's in the public forum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's countering data to that as well too, that's I could also use as well. But I'm not, I mean, everyone, you got Thomas Sowell out there, whatever he's gonna
do you
say.
like Thomas Sowell? I'll tell you right now, man, I love Thomas Sowell. Are you, do you like him?
No, I don't.
You don't like him. So let me ask you a Thomas Sowell question. How much of my hard-earned money do you believe I should give up to people that didn't earn it?
What do you mean by that? Like, what are you saying exactly?
So, well, with regards to socialist policies, I'm paraphrasing him, I'm not quoting him directly, but he made the comment. He said, "How much of an individual, like we'll take me for example, how much of my money that I have worked for and earned, how much of that should I give up freely to people that haven't earned it?"
Do you think you give up a large percentage of your money to programs like that?
Well, it's not program specific. It's just in general. How much of, like, if I make $100,000 a year, how much of my money should I then turn around and have to give up so that it can be spread out amongst other people that didn't earn it?
I think that at the end of the day, that's a kind of a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
I can't just give you a raw answer to that. I know that SNAP benefits are like $50-$60 a year per person or something like that. It's not an overwhelming. If you look at corporate taxes, that your corporate tax subsidies, you're giving out a lot more of your money to these people right here than what you're giving out. So it's a loaded question.
They're
But
employing people and stuff.
They're not paying taxes either. A lot of them aren't paying any taxes at all. But I mean, it doesn't. Even if you're employing people, you're not paying. You guys are a lot of corporations that are not paying taxes. Am I wrong about that?
I can't answer that question. I think Kevin would be more apt to be able to.
Well, I think there are very large corporations that are able to use write-offs and tax breaks to avoid paying taxes. But the flip side to that argument is that those large companies are paying a huge number of employees that are all paying payroll tax. And so there is a flip side to that, right? I mean, the business isn't paying taxes, but because of that, they're able to hire more employees and then we have more payroll taxes. So I don't know how those numbers work out literally, right? Like,
not discount us as people though either. Let's not discount us. We're actually out here spending too. You look at Walmart, like places like Walmart, they pay you just enough so that you can still qualify for food stamps.
Look, that's a legitimate argument, man.
There's just a lot of that
Walmart not paying a living wage. You're right.
You got a lot of these companies, but
I don't disagree with you on that, right? But don't we as people have the ability to choose where we spend our dollars, right? We can choose to not support Walmart.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of people don't have that option to choose that because they're poor. They may not have enough money to say, I can't not support Walmart because that's where my dollar goes the furthest. At the same time, I don't believe in illegal immigration. I don't think people should be able to just come here illegally, make the system better.
I told you he's a Republican.
That's how we feel.
You're a Republican.
But I've never said that I believe in illegal immigration. I want you.
No, you didn't. I agree with you. I agree with you.
I saw some of the people in the chat saying that, I don't believe in that at all. Because you look at this is not to me to say that I believe that Obama was the greatest president. I don't like what he did in Libya, but that's life, So at the end of the day, under his presidency and his administration, they kicked out more people than Trump did. I mean,
you're right.
It's the way that you go about it. It's the way that you frame the whole narrative. That's what this is about. You're framing the narrative as poisoning the blood of this country. Everything, they're illegals, murderers, rapists. This is a problem because who are you really talking about? What are you really
saying? Not wrong right now. Can I say that to you? You're not wrong what you're saying, man. You're not wrong.
He's echoing things I've said because I mean we the people, right? I think
right here. Pretty much.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we the people, I think we the people have kind of been poisoned by the agenda of both the Democrats and the Republicans.
Not wrong, Tom.
Those agendas have done nothing but deepen the divide between we the people, and mass media has dug in and helped that.
Yep. I totally agree. I'm just going to tell you this, Wesley. I think we've had an amazing conversation. I want to just personally thank you for coming on with us. And I mean, I know we're not getting off yet, but I'm just saying, I just want to thank you because this is good dialogue and this stuff needs to happen more often.
and vice versa. And I'd love to go ahead and talk about Iran and everything else that you guys.
Yeah, let's talk about that really quick. Let's
even what happened at the White House. I mean, or at the correspondence. I'd love to talk about that as well too. So
that's why we got to go another 4 hours, Wesley. That's why we got a whole another 4 hours.
No.
I have an early day tomorrow,
All right,
man.
let's talk really quick about this because
minutes.
The situation in Iran, I think, is something that the four of us have not had a consensus on, right? I think
we're all over.
Yeah, we're kind of as a group, we're all over the place. I'm gonna tell you where I'm at in regards to Iran, and I'll give everybody a chance, including you, Wesley, to kind of chime in. I think initially when I heard about it, I thought, okay, this probably makes a little bit of sense, just in the fact that we know that they're a global leader in terror. They're responsible for the death of thousands of American soldiers in Iraq. They back Hamas and Hezbollah. They've backed the Houthi rebels, and I don't mean Houthi and the Blowfish. They're active in terror all over the region. They're a dangerous actor. The problem is, for me, is that I feel like the Trump administration came into this half-assed. I feel like they came in thinking that Iran was going to crumble like Iraq did. And if it didn't, they thought the Iranian people were going to rise up against them. And neither of those things happened. And I don't feel like Donald had a plan moving forward if it didn't crumble relatively quickly. We are now 1 day away from the 60-day mark. And there's no progress. Like, there literally is no progress. We've blown a whole bunch of crap up. Iran knows there's a deadline. There's no need for them to negotiate because they know that in 30 days, the U.S. is going to have to be out of the business of bombing them. That's how the War Powers Act works. 60 days and 30 days to pull your people out. And Iran knows that they're not obligated to do anything. They just wait it out at this point. I think that my fear is he puts boots on the ground. I'd be 100% against any boots on the ground, and the only way you're going to beat Iran is to put boots on the ground. This was a fool's errand from the beginning. This was not well thought out. This was not executed well. This is a fool errand from the beginning. If you're going to do something with Iran and you want to involve troops, then Saudi Arabia should have been involved. Jordan should have been involved. Egypt should have been involved. UAE should have been, like, those Middle Eastern nations should have been involved. I think this was a really bad idea, and it's going to come back to haunt the Republicans in the midterms. Beeler?
Yeah, wasn't paying attention.
Okay, well, thanks. Never mind. You don't have any comment on that. That's fine, Paul.
So, first of all, I think you would have to ask the people of Iraq and Saddam Hussein how they felt about the War Powers Act after 90 days, because we haven't declared war since World War II. So, having said that, they would be playing a stupid game and winning a stupid prize if they think that we're going to pull out after 90 days. Trump doesn't have to do that. The War Powers Act guides getting his troops in there and doing some other things, but no president has followed that since World War II. Vietnam, Korea, anybody, right? So the idea that we're just going to stop after 90 days is anathema. It's just, I don't know where that idea comes from. People have been complaining about the War Powers Act and Trump has to pull troops out after 60 days or 90 days or whatever, but it's just not true, right? Because with executive authority, he has the power to do a lot of different things, as we've seen in Korea, Vietnam, Panama, Iraq, Iraq again, right? Iran, Kosovo, right? So
Venezuela,
we were there for 24 hours. I mean, I'm just saying that I don't think that that's a good argument, and if that's what Iran is banking on, they're fucked. I give a lot of credit to senior leadership within the military. And I want to have faith on them. And I give a lot of faith and credit to the United States military personnel, especially ranking enlisted men and women, because they're the backbone, and they're the ones that are really bearing the brunt of this load and having to put forth the effort. And right now we've seen no boots on the ground. And I think that unfortunately that's going to have to be the next phase. I think Tom said it best a few weeks ago. You either go all the way or you don't do it at all.
That's what I told my date at the prom.
And unfortunately, I think that's
Are you
what.
fucking kidding me right now, Kevin?
I think that is that.
What the fuck?
Well, it wasn't your fault. He didn't know you that well then. So just anyway.
I say you're too young to have been his prom date.
Yeah.
Way too young. I was probably still in diapers.
Dang.
Anyway.
Okay. So
There's
anyway,
no
my
joke to
point
make
just
about
being
that. I'm out.
my point just being that he's gonna have to continue the push. Because Trump, if there's one thing we all know about Trump's ego, it doesn't allow him to be a loser.
It's true.
And but the problem is he keeps saying stupid shit.
I know.
Right? Oh, the Iranians are going to come to the table any minute. They're going to agree to. I promise you, they're going to. No, they're fucking not. They don't have a command and control structure to make any decisions. And because of the way their military works, each independent regional commander has control over his troops and can do whatever he wants. That's why after you saw this ceasefire that was announced, there were still missiles fired.
Right. Yeah.
Because guess what? The dude 50 miles to the left didn't get the memo, and neither did the guy 50 miles to the right. Right. So there's a complete loss of command and control and structure within Iran right now. And I think, to be honest with you, the first day there was a massive coup pulled off, and in taking out all of those senior commanders, the Ayatollah, maybe his son, I don't know.
Has anybody seen his son?
Nobody's seen him yet.
Okay.
Nobody's seen him. There's rumors that come out, but that's about it.
I would say I thought I had heard that he had made some kind of communication attempt.
We've heard,
but but no, I don't think
nobody's.
And there's rumors that he's gone to Moscow for medical treatment. There's a whole bunch
who knows?
Right, but there doesn't really mean proof of life,
Right.
so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So listen, there's a ton of reasons. Anybody that's as old as we are knows that this has been going on and coming for 47 years. Right. This has been a long time in the making, and everybody. Iran was the bully on the block who kept walking up, bitch slapping people and running off. And all these people that are out there saying Iran isn't an imminent threat. Iran is not dumb. The Persians are very smart people. They have they're well known for their patience. So what did they do? They set up a system with proxy groups in their stead that did their dirty work for them, right? The Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, right? All these groups did Iran's dirty work.
The U.S. Democrat Party, yeah.
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Just kidding. That was just a joke. Don't be mad at me.
Anyway,
I'm just playing.
So I'm just making the point that we need to take all of those groups out. Right now within Lebanon themselves, there's a lot of infighting because Lebanon has its own military.
Yep.
They don't like Hezbollah, and Israel is fighting Hezbollah. But guess who gets caught in the middle? The Lebanese army.
Yeah.
So it's like, Lebanon is like, stop shooting at us, and they're like, well, we're not shooting at you. You're just getting in the way. So
Move to the left.
And war is brutal business. I heard the other day Trump was called a war criminal. I said, really? I can understand why. I mean, compare what we're seeing in Iran today to Dresden or Tokyo.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't have an ounce of understanding of history. I understand that people are pissed at Trump. They don't like him. Orange man bad. But he is so restrained right now with what's going on in Iran. It could cause us to fail because of his restraint.
Yeah.
And I'm like, either take the gloves off or fucking bring your men home.
Well, yeah. All right, Tom, really quick, and then I want to give Wesley a chance to give his thoughts too. Tom?
Sure, my opinion hasn't. I mean, I'll share with Wesley. You guys already know. I don't think we should have gone into Iran in the first place. Culturally speaking, we don't understand that part of the world. We don't belong there. But now that we're there, if we're gonna go there and we're gonna get into a fight, I mean, you got to fight. You don't, Wes, I don't know if you've gotten into, your fisticuffs or whatever as a younger guy, but I mean, if you're going to get into a fight, you fight to win, right? I mean, we're not doing that.
Tom says, take the gloves off.
Rick, if we're going to fight, yes, take the gloves off. Yeah. Should we be there fighting? No, we should not.
Rick, can you put in the chat who are the pretend patriots revealing that they're foreign owned traders? I'm just curious who you're saying that is. Wesley, what do you think?
Well, I mean, he was saying about failing. We failed from the beginning of this mission. Was a failed mission at the beginning. This wasn't even a mission for us. This was a mission for one of our associates in the Middle East. The same.
You're of the mindset that Trump is doing the bidding of Netanyahu.
The same people who killed 70-something thousand Palestinians, a bunch of women and children, who are killing people in Lebanon, who bombed Iran for. Really, we don't have a real true reason. They thought that, like you said, they thought that they were going to crumble right after they killed Ayatollah. This was what was whispered into Trump's ear. Oh, as soon as they do this, they'll crumble. The people will take over. They'll revolt. And that's not what happened. We killed 1 million people in Iraq. You killed 1 million people in Iraq. You armed dissidents. You armed the people who you said that we were killing in Iran. All the protesters, people who were being killed by the government, were armed by our administration. By us. This was come out and Trump said this.
Yes, President Obama funded ISIS.
I mean, I'm sure. Don't get me wrong. This is not to say just him. I just told you about what happened in Libya. I didn't agree with that either. This is regime change happened a long time ago in Iran that should have never happened. We didn't have any. That was not for us.
That was our fault too. Back in '77.
So this is like we're consistently meddling in other people's affairs, and we get angry with them when we armed Iran and Iraq against each other and had them fighting against each other, killing each other. We did all this, and then we want people to forget that family members of theirs died. We wouldn't forget. We would never. We would hold a grudge. You create terrorists.
We wouldn't forget because I'm pretty sure most of the country has forgotten about 9/11.
I remember that like it was yesterday. How did we forget about that? We got the Patriot Act.
We sure don't have what we had back then.
Department of Homeland Security. No. Like what do you mean? As far as
the unity that the country saw after 9/11.
Yeah, but that was short-lived, though.
That's a different situation.
That's your point.
And that was a bad. To me, honestly, like to a degree, that was bad because we sat back and we allowed the Patriot Act to go through. That was horrible for us to allow.
I agree. Actually, I don't agree with Patriot Act.
That should have never happened.
It's unconstitutional.
We all wanted to go into Iraq. That was horrible. I knew that then. I was younger at that point in time, but why are we going into Iraq? This has nothing to do with this over here. Period. Plain and simple. Just like if we go into Iran right now, it would be a worse war than Iraq. They have way more people. It's a tougher terrain. It would be a tough battle. You would have to go in there and basically nuke them. That's the only way we're going to beat them. You cannot. It's like fighting against someone in their neighborhood. How are you can never and then trying to go to their house and take over their home. It doesn't work that way. We could never just go and take over Iran. It's a bad war. We should have never been there. We had a treaty with them under Obama where we had everything that we needed to have from them. We gave them back their unfroze money. This was their money. Wasn't our money.
You're talking about the $400 billion pile of cash that went on the airplane. You're right. I don't disagree with you. That was
$100. I don't know what the price was. I don't know what the exact price was, but that was their money though. And but if we could stop their nuclear program because this is what we were angry about, their nuclear program, correct? This is what everyone's worried about. This is what in 2 weeks Iran can have.
Because it could take out the entire world.
And North Korea got nuclear weapons. Pakistan got them. Let's not act like people. Israel has
North Korea is using the slingshot.
So I mean, but Iran has nothing at all. Pakistan has them. Let's just not act like these people are just. They've been around for a very long time. They've been around for a very long time. They have not been trying to kill the whole entire world this entire time.
You're correct. They've
been developing it.
They've only been trying to destroy Israel. Remember, how
has Israel not been trying?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Let's not act like let's not act like these guys are just sitting over here. These people have nuclear weapons. We don't even know because they won't allow us to come into their country. We give them money every year and with unchecked. We could get into that, but we don't need to. But you guys, let's be.
We give unchecked money to everyone. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, not like these people who basically run our government. Let's not act like we don't see these people who run our government. Our system of government is ran by this country right here. We are puppeted.
Say it, Wesley. Come on.
It's just a fact. I'm not trying to say it's the people in the country. It's the government.
You don't have to be politically correct for us, Wesley. It's okay.
I don't have a problem with the people. It's the government. They're sure they want Netanyahu gone as well. Just like
Israel
may want.
That's what my son tells me all the time. So I'm and I have to tell him the same thing. So don't feel bad. I'm not picking on you, Wesley, but say it, brother. Let go of that political correctness.
No, it's just I've said it. But it's just factual. This is why we're here. This person Netanyahu came. We want the axis of evil: Syria, Libya, Iran, Iraq. Where have we gone already? Every single one of those countries, we've already been there. We've done that for them, So this is not our war. We should not be there. That's a bad place for us to be. It's just at the end of the day, and what is also shown is our weaknesses. One thing that Biden did that was incredibly smart, and you can say whether it was him or whether it was someone else, whatever you want to say, but we didn't have to go fight Russia and Ukraine. We sent weapons. We allowed them to fight. Let them fight those people. Let them get through Ukraine first. And there's been over 1 million casualties in that war. That's good for us as a country because we don't have to fight
billions and billions.
So,
at the end of the day, you can't. What would have been had we had to go fight head to head with Russia? Trillions and trillions and how many?
We wouldn't have had to have done that.
Well, all I'm saying is you let someone else do it. They invaded Ukraine. If Ukraine let Ukraine weaken our enemy, I would rather pay to have my enemy weakened than put my with money than with lives, blood, American blood.
I understand what you're saying right now, Wesley, but I just want to draw a comparison for you. Right now, what you're talking about is doing the exact same thing that Iran has been doing. You're talking about using proxies to fight your wars.
I can get into, I was going to get into all that too. Everything kind of like, I kind of talk around things. I'm sorry. I know I take a little bit of time.
It's good, man. It's fine.
It all kind of goes back into each other. The same thing. What we're doing, what he did is put us into a war head on with a country. So now everyone else can do the same thing that we just did to Russia. You got China sending them weapons. You got Russia sending them weapons and intelligence, and they're showing our weaknesses in the area. Now we have so many bases. What helped us was the petrodollar. We don't have that anymore, but it also helped us because we had bases there. Now these countries are like, can you even protect us? Because you can't even open the Strait of Hormuz. You can't even get this open. You can't even get these things done without threatening a nuclear strike. That's what he has to threaten in order for us to do it. Or then he has to threaten our NATO allies. If you guys don't help us, you guys are supposed to be our allies. This is a mutual defense treaty. If someone attacks us, not if you go attack someone else.
You are correct.
You are correct. This is the problem that we're running into. This is not me, Orange Man bad, not to use trying to make any kind of distinction with you, but this is me, America. I love this country first and foremost. That's what this is about. First and foremost,
we love you too.
Don't put us into a situation to where our weaknesses are shown. We got one of our naval ships, one of our biggest carriers got hit. They're practicing on our people right now. That's what they're doing. They're figuring out our weaknesses. We're basically saying, China, here, come send your best drones and whatever else over here and practice on our people. That was dumb. I'm sorry to use that, but that's just the truth. You don't do that. You don't put yourself in a situation where you have to show what you have. There's no reason for that. But anyway,
Wesley, I don't agree. I don't disagree with you. And here's the problem, right? Like what you're talking about. You don't go into something halfway, show your cards, and then you don't have the ability to follow it through, right? It would be different if the plan was we're going to expend resources and wipe Iran out. But instead, what they've done is they've kind of half-assed this play to begin with. We're going to send a lot of resources there. We're going to put a lot of people over there, but we're going to send in some airstrikes and do some missile strikes, but that's all that we're going to do. And we're going to hope that it works. And then when it doesn't work, you're now left with this idea that either you have to fully commit ground troops or you have to fully leave. And it doesn't lead to a conclusion, right? Like there's no way he's sending ground troops in. I know that Paul disagrees. I think that Paul thinks that ground troops are kind of the next shoe to drop. There's no way he sends in ground troops. The American public's not going to support it. The November elections are around the corner, and the Republicans are going to get massacred in the midterms if Trump puts boots on the ground on Iran. The Republicans aren't going to want to see that. There's no way it happens. So now you've basically spent 60 days plus whatever remaining time they spend effing around and finding out that you didn't eff around enough. And then you bring everybody home, and what happened? Iran is now more emboldened because now they can say to everybody in the region, hey, look, they messed with us and we won. And maybe they didn't win, but it's all in how you narrate the story. And Iran's going to come out of this selling that they won. And it's going to make them look stronger in the region.
I have to ask Wesley what your sources are about American troops being used for target practice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just saying, like, okay, I'm not saying target practice as in, well, if I'm in a region
because we're taking damage, we've been hit. There's no doubt. It's a war.
You're taking it literally, and I don't mean it like, but it kind of is literal. They are. They're able to say, okay, if I'm getting satellite imagery from Russia saying, hey, this is where their bases are, this is where their people are, I can kind of shoot my drones. Everyone knows that Iran has some of the most. That's what I'm saying. We're basically sitting over here, and they
have
can
the Shahid drone. It's a self-controlled. I forget the word for a first FPV drone, first person.
That's what I mean by that. I mean we're in a region that it's not our backyard, and they can kind of they're just pot shotting at us. I'm not saying that we're not hitting them. They've had a lot more casualties allegedly because they're not even telling us the truth about how many troops have actually died of ours. That's come out.
Yeah, we've had about 300 to 400 that have been wounded, and right now it's about 36 killed. And listen, what would you? I understand there's not a point that you've made here that I don't think you have an absolute right and a rhyme and a reason behind it, right? And I'm not even disagreeing with you about your point, like, the point Kevin made, the point Tom made, right? About, well, we shouldn't have been there. Okay, that's a policy issue, I think, right? That's a policy debate on whether we're doing the right thing or not. But once we decide to do it, like my biggest issue is I don't want to see our troops come back and get spit on and be called baby killers, right? And that's a big issue for me as a veteran. But on that same note, to Kevin's point, and even partly to yours, Wesley, this idea that we're going in there and we're half-assing it, I think that there's a real lack of understanding of what we've already done to Iran. They barely have command and control, but you're talking about a country where when the people rose up, and this is an important fact, they're a disarmed country. They don't have, you can't be a civilian there and own a handgun, which is why what was it, a month and a half ago? When the last time the people rose up, there were approximately 30,000 civilians that were massacred. They had nothing to fight back against. The IRGC is a theocratic organization. They are run by their faith and by their Ayatollah. And if people are okay with it, that's fine. And if that's their culture and people want, but the people of Iran are screaming at the top of their lungs about how they want this theocratic regime gone, but they have no means to take their own country back. So that's one part of this, right?
Can I ask you a question to that, though?
Of course.
If that's true, and you're right, okay, but I'm saying if that is true, then shouldn't the Trump administration have considered that when they, because they publicly,
it's one of my criticisms.
They publicly came out and said we're expecting the Iranian people to come take their government back. That was one of the main selling points to it. If that's true, which it is, that they're not an armed populace,
correct?
Then how could the Trump administration have thought for 1 second that unarmed populace would be able to rise up against the Iranian National Army Guard, whatever they're called, the Red Guard?
That's my major criticism at this point against them. Trump. I understand the attempt at a ceasefire, right? We understand that the Iranians have laid naval mines. Those are being cleared out by the U.S. Navy, right? And I believe that they're being cleared out for a marine invasion of Karg Island. Okay. Now, could you imagine a nuclear weapon in the hands of Iran detonating at once in the Straits? Do you know what that would do? You think that the oil flow is bad now? And you're talking about a country that's the most unstable of those countries that are in that region. You have the most strong arm, not that Saudi Arabia is far behind, but this issue is so much more complicated than we shouldn't be there. We're talking about Iran, a country that has attacked us multiple times. There are estimates as high as 60% of all U.S. casualties in Iraq were caused as a direct result of Iran and their weapons and their training, right? You can't forget the Beirut barracks. That was Iran. You can't forget Hamas. That was Iran. Hezbollah, that's Iran. The Houthis, that's Iran. You can't forget the USS Cole. You can't forget the Khobar Towers bombing. These are all attacks by Iran or paid for by Iran.
We have to also remember origins of things as well too. I know that we
go as tell me,
that just origins. I mean, we both already, they had a Shah. They overthrew their own Shah. They got rid of him. They wanted.
I don't disagree. We fucked that up.
I mean, and from there we went sanctions. We went, trying to kill any leader. It's a lot of different things that we've done to put ourselves in this situation. We need to stay. Sometimes we got to stay out of people's business. We messed that up for ourselves.
I don't disagree.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I know we're saying that, they killed 30,000 of their citizens. Like I said before, Trump armed those same. If you're arming people, if people came and armed American citizens against our government, what would our government do to us?
Well, according to former Congressman Eric Swalwell, we have nukes. That didn't work out too well for him. But
how is Eric doing, by the way?
Yeah, he's done for. If he was a Republican, he'd be fine. But hey, we'll leave that for another day. But anyway,
what? Holy shit, Wesley! Just as I was giving you credit,
this guy's rational. But it's honest. But let's be honest here. Let's be honest. It's a fact. I don't know.
We hold all politicians accountable to their actions.
I don't want to go
not just one side or the other.
I don't want to go tit for tat on it. But what about the guy in Alabama? I think he ran for Senate in Alabama. I think he had a
Reverend Warnock.
No, not him. Alabama.
He was only accused of domestic violence twice.
He's Georgia. That's Georgia. They're a little different situations. Georgia, but Alabama, the guy was convicted of SA. Yeah, and they still ran him as a senator.
And he should go to prison for that.
You guys remember that?
You know what? I apologize. I think I know what story you're talking about, but I don't remember the guy's name. Do you remember
It
his
was
name?
like maybe in 2012 or so. I can't remember his name because that's when a Democrat actually won. It was a special election, I believe, that we had the first Democrat Alabama senator for a very long time. He ended up winning that. He was out of there right after he won. It was maybe 3 or 4 years later. They had another election. He was gone, but they ran that guy.
Your complaint about that is that Republicans let him run anyway. Is that what you're saying? Because that would be messed up if they did.
They did. It's a fact. Go look it up.
Okay,
it's
I believe you.
But
I
anyway,
100%.
that's beside the point. But I just, like I said, I think that you're really looking at them, and all they did was learn the game from us and started creating proxies to fight their own wars, so they don't have to fight for themselves. It made sense for them. This is not me defending Iran. This is me saying, why are we over here dealing with Iran, knowing that we had a deal on the table. It was done. We didn't have to do any of this. He came in, messed it up. Now he's trying to make the same.
Wesley, I think you're awesome, dude. I'm loving this conversation, but it's like you're obscuring or forgetting the fact that Iran, after they got that cash, decided the nuclear inspectors didn't get to come in anymore. They said, yeah, we took the money and yeah, we agreed to it, but we're not letting you come in and inspect anymore.
I didn't hear about that one. I didn't hear about
that. Okay, well, that was the pretext. That was the pretext, right? That was the pretext for going after their nuclear sites. Mm-hmm. Because they made it clear Israel does not have the right to exist.
No,
they were going to nuke them.
They have, they have. Where do more Israelis live in the Middle East other than Israel? Tell me
here.
No, other than Israel in the Middle East.
I don't know the answer to that.
In Iran, there's more Israelis in Iran than anywhere else in the Middle East.
Explains why Mossad is so good.
So let's, let's not like utilize this to kind of. I know we have propaganda. We talk about propaganda and media propaganda, but this is propaganda that's spewed from a certain side that's just not true. Not saying side as far as democratically, but
give me that. Tell me that propaganda. I want to know, because I freely admit I don't know it all.
Part of it right there, saying that they say things because you're attacking me. If I have a delegation of people in my country that are leaders of a certain group and you kill them in my country, we have a problem. This is what you're doing.
I don't disagree with that.
They bombed Qatar. Same group bombed Qatar, man. When they had a delegation of people in their country trying to make a peace plan, they killed the peace talk group. I mean, let's be real. We have to stop acting like we don't know what's happening in the world. I'm not saying you guys, but it's just there. It's like right there in front of our face. But anyway,
to your point, Wesley, Israel is not blameless. They're not. I mean, they openly attacked the United States warship back in the 1960s.
Yeah,
killed over 100 U.S. sailors.
They paid us off to be quiet about it.
Exactly.
Is that wrong? So, they gave us in Saigon. Right. I think these are all factual things that we don't talk about, and we have to stop looking at this as these are our friends when they're not. You're not our friends that way because you're doing things against us.
Right, so, with friends like that, right? I get you. I'm not disagreeing with
you. Hey, you guys don't need to have nukes. Next thing you know, I'm not saying that happened because of that, but they did it anyway.
Israel's
all right, hold on.
Israel's the only country that tells us, well, we're not confirming or denying that we have nuclear weapons, and we're not going to tell you. And we're just going, okay,
you do what you want to. All right, hold on. We're gonna go to one last topic. Then we're gonna wrap up tonight's show.
Broncos?
No, not the Broncos. We've already beaten up on the Broncos. Again,
we're gonna see them in the Super Bowl next year. That's my prediction.
The only way we're gonna see them in the Super Bowl next year is if they send a camera crew to their houses. Okay, so we're talking with Wesley Blackwell. He is the co-host of Uncommon Courtesy with D-Mac Uno. You can find him on Webb's Network Media 360 on Facebook. Go like them. Go follow them, Outlaw Peeps. And give that a listen. So bear with me for a second because people are going to roll their eyes at this next story, but I do want to talk about this. Yeah, thank you, Paul. I heard your eyes clang. Thank you. So there's this big story that's been coming out of the NFL. And then, again, this is not a football conversation. I'll tell you why it's not in a second.
Or we'll figure it out.
So Mike Vrabel, who's the head coach of the New England Patriots.
Hate to be that guy.
Diana Rossini, who was a reporter for The Athletic. Pictures came out that showed them in hot tubs together.
A little friendly.
And they're both married to somebody who's not themselves, who's not each other, right? And so that story came out. It came out that they, people were basically saying that she was sleeping with him to garner intel. And there'd been some other accusations that she'd done that, whatever. So that whole thing blows up. Diana Rossini eventually gets forced out of The Athletic. She resigns, but
Sounds like a Coldplay moment.
Yeah, like a Coldplay moment. Yeah. She resigns from the Athletic. Mike Vrabel does not resign. The NFL says that we're not going to investigate this. This is out of our purview. The Patriots back him, all of that.
Yeah, it's a issue between his wife and him.
Okay.
Are you threatening
Same
me?
with her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, same with her.
here's where things get a little wonky. On Thursday night, he comes out and says, I'm going to be missing the draft on Saturday because I have marital counseling with my wife. Now, that in itself is suspect.
Why.
That in itself is suspect.
My mind's telling me no.
if you can't plan your marriage counseling around your most important job as an NFL head coach, which is draft, then there's got to be a reason
He's
to it.
trying to prove his love to his wife.
No, that
right
wasn't
now.
it. That wasn't it.
That's what it is.
No, you know what it was?
What?
Right after he made that announcement, another bomb dropped on him, which was back in 2020. They found more photos of him and Diana Rossini, and these questions are uncompromisable. They were locked in kisses. They were locked in embraces. These photos prove that there was something going on, and it was going on all the way back in 2020.
So it's even more of a Coldplay moment.
Yeah.
So here's where things get a little more wonky, and then I'm going to tie this around to why this is a conversation for this show.
Here you go, Wesley.
This was before Diana Rossini married her current dude that she's married to that she had a kid with. In 2021, they had a child together.
DNA test that
Hold
kid.
on. In 2021, they had a child together. Do you know what she named her child?
Wow.
Mike. The child she had with her new husband, she named Mike.
Wow.
True effing story. Okay. So why is that being discussed on this show?
That's a good topic. It's juicy.
Well,
that's why we're discussing it.
And I'm going to spout for a second, then you guys do whatever. We talk on this show a lot about how, well, listen.
Wake up, Alicia.
Listen, a lot of these sexist things don't really exist. There is no double standard for men or women in this country. Everybody's treated equally. All that stuff has gone away. This is proof that it hasn't gone away. Diana Rossini basically badonkadonks with somebody who's not her husband. She gets clowned. She gets made fun of. A lot of stuff online. She's forced out of the Athletic because she slept with somebody in the exchange of information. Mike Vrabel sleeps with somebody in the exchange for information and is still the head coach of the Patriots. The NFL will not even investigate it. And he's looked at as somebody, well, that's what guys do. Rossini's painted out to be a whore. Vrabel's painted out to be a dude.
Yeah.
So
how it's been forever.
Yeah, but that's
that's his point. That's Kevin's point.
That's my point. Is this argument that we have moved away from this, that somehow that double standard has gone away? This story is absolute proof that the double standard has not gone away. This story is absolute proof that Diana Rossini got hung out to dry as a sacrificial lamb for the story, and Mike Vrabel is untouchable when he should be being investigated by the NFL for leaking information to a reporter that he was badonkadonkin. And so that's the problem that I have. This is totally reflective of the double standard. So anybody who says it's not there isn't there. By the way, I don't think Vrabel will coach the Patriots opening day next year. I think he's either going to be fired, he's going to resign, or he's going to be suspended.
Over this?
Over this, yeah. Okay. Over all of this, because eventually it's going to get too big for it to be ignored. But I just this is why men get clowned on so bad about situations like this. And this is why women feel like they're victims when stuff like this come up, because the double standard is alive and well. It's the rape argument. Well, if she didn't want to be raped, why did she go to that end of town at the wrong time of night? Or where did she wear a skirt that was too short? It's those conversations that this reflects to me. So I'll let you guys talk about it. But I think it's a gross story. I think Vrabel's a piece of crap human being. And
Wesley, you want to go first?
Well, I mean, he's right. It's 100% right. There's no other way to put it. I don't think that Vrabel will be fired. I think that he just took him to the Super Bowl. I think that he's got Kraft as his owner, and Kraft has done some things himself. We know Kraft's
yes,
background.
he has. That's right.
We've seen the fact that what he did with what he also did with Belichick, and he did with Tom Brady. He didn't care that he smashed the phone. It's a little different. I think they're gonna say that his wife is okay with it. This is a family thing, and this is not so much as anything to do with business, and they're gonna let it go. I think that they've already taken care of her. They probably paid her a lump sum of money to go ahead and just say, be quiet and go on your way. And this is not to say like that it's right, because it's not right. She shouldn't have been fired from her job. However, it is what it is. But this is the way it's going to probably play out. I'm sorry.
Alicia, you want to go next?
I would just say it's the way it's always been. It's the way it's always going to be. I don't think it's ever going to change, no matter what anyone says. And that double standard to where boys are being boys, men are being men, and girls are being whores is very true to society. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I don't really care. Like, seriously, fucking moral police. Just get out of people's lives. I agree with Tom on this. Like, get out of the bed.
I don't know, Tom. Is that what you?
Well, he's a libertarian. That's what they believe.
Actually, I mean,
Shut the fuck up,
I mean,
Paul.
we talked about it a little bit before the show, and I mean, I just found out about this evening because it's not one of the things I would chase down. Because, like Alicia said, who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, it's if I had said before the show, if she was a Burger King employee and he worked at Walmart, this isn't even a conversation. No one gives a shit. Happens all the time to regular people.
Regular people.
Yeah,
I got you. So we're gonna go ahead. Sorry.
So I don't think it's a story at all.
Okay.
I think it's.
I think because one of them is a football coach and one of them's a reporter, this is big news. This shit happens every fucking day, minute by minute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
It's a story for for a moment because it's people that are known for something
things,
other
right.
than mopping the restroom at Walmart or making a burger.
Right.
But can I respond to that
Kevin,
just a little bit?
Okay.
I just want to say, Tom, I agree with you 99% of the time that if this was somebody at Walmart and Burger King, it wouldn't matter. People wouldn't talk about it.
Right.
The reason why I do think this is a story is because this is two people that are very successful in what they do.
They're very visible.
They're prominent.
But it's more than that. They're both very successful in what they do. Diana Rossini is well respected in her profession. She's covered the NFL for years. She worked for ESPN. She
won't have a problem finding another job.
But hold on, let me finish my point.
This is how little I fucking care about them.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you don't fucking care about it. Anyway, so she was very successful at what she did, and Vrabel's very successful at what he does. We're not talking about like she was a hanger-on that didn't have any clout.
Okay.
But they're both being treated completely opposite. Even though she was completely qualified, she got spun out to dry, and he did not.
You know what? You don't know what she had in her employment record. Maybe she had been warned.
I don't know.
Maybe there was an existing conversation that nobody fucking knows about because that's how you do it when you're an adult. You have a conversation, and she probably knew with that understanding.
So
we don't know.
Yeah,
I feel you.
And Kevin, I mean, I still think it goes back to visibility, right? Because let's go ahead and instead of it being someone at Walmart and Burger King, you have
people at Walmart and Burger King even have sex?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Jesus
I think they do.
If we go and pick someone from Manhattan, on Wall Street in the financial district, you've got a man and a woman that both make millions, but no one knows who they are. No one gives a shit. This still goes back to it's just a visibility thing.
Yeah, but I want to remind you about what happened after Me Too. Right? Remember when Me Too came around and any man that got accused of anything got hung out to dry, whether it was justified or not, or proof or not. Every single guy that got accused of anything, even without proof, was effed.
Yep.
We're now 10 or 11 or 12 years later, and that Me Too thing has gone away, and we reverted back to that's what men do, and women are whores. Well, that's what we reverted back to.
Let me again, as St. Paul, the voice of reason.
Please do, Paul.
Let me provide a different perspective.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Do we have any music for this perspective, then?
So here to the point Alicia was making, Diana Rossini was an employee of a large publication that reported on sports. Okay. It would be no different than a reporter for any paper sleeping with a source. That's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so with that in mind, I don't think anybody's hanging her out to dry. I think her employer said, the fuck? You're getting information and publishing it about this guy's team and you're sleeping with him? You're fucking gone.
Yeah.
And for Mike Vrabel going to counseling with his wife or whatever, first of all, if your marriage is in trouble, that's the first thing you should be doing. Okay. I'm not just
sleeping with someone else.
Agreed.
Right.
But I mean, we're all, as to your point, we're all adults. and that shit happens.
Right.
Right. So with that in mind, okay, I don't think this is a sexism issue. I think that it is an issue of one employer saying, dude, what the fuck ever, it's your family, take care of your family, we can handle the draft stuff ourselves, right? And somebody else saying, you work for us, reporting on their industry, you're not going to be able to get a source anymore.
Yeah. The only place I disagree with you is that if she was getting information from Vrabel, so he was also in a position of protecting where he's at, and if he was giving secrets to Rossini, but again, he's giving draft or whatever information he's giving to her that she can use.
Is it reported that he gave her any
Yeah, is
information?
this
I don't know.
speculation, or are you just like coming up with this shit off the fucking?
No,
I understand what you're saying.
God,
Kevin.
it's a good thing Beeler's not in charge of what talk radio is all about, or we would never have a topic.
Then it would go both ways. Then correct? Because that if she wasn't getting information, so why did she get fired? Was it just because
she was sleeping with a source
That's
as a
it.
reporter? She was.
Well, then that means saying he's a source. Saying he's a source, then saying that he gave information.
Well, listen, again, she's a sports reporter.
Listen, I just want to point this out.
Yes, go ahead,
He was a source of pleasure. Okay. That is.
There you go.
All right.
I think it's a good place to end.
Wesley, man, this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. I hope we can. Oh, hold on, Tom, you ready?
No.
Come on, Tom.
No,
Come on, Tom.
Don't fucking do the Beavis button.
Fire! All right.
You guys sound 12 when you do that.
So dumb.
Good.
I am Cornholio. I need Dippy for my bunghole.
I need to find my inner child once in a while.
We apologize.
I'm sorry that they're 12-year-old boys.
Doc Blackwell is so happy we're doing this.
The
Doc is
Democrat
like, yes.
and the Libertarian acting like children.
All right, let's wrap
Are you
this up
threatening me?
so some of us can get to bed.
Like titty caca. Titty caca.
Okay, that's enough. God.
All right.
You got anybody?
Wesley, listen, man. I really hope we can do this again. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Don't block us on Facebook now. After Doc
enjoyed
Blackwell. Don't even talk to me, you Cowboys fan. Okay.
I just again, Wesley, I want to tell you thank you very much for having these conversations with us, man. They were awesome.
Dude, you're rad.
Because we don't normally get to have conversations. Like I said, it's very hard for us to get a self-declared progressive on the show with us to have very open and honest conversations. So much appreciation to you. Thank you very much.
I'll come back anytime. You guys invite me back anytime.
Right on.
How about election night?
Hey, yeah, election night. We'd love to have you on election.
We do live election coverage. You want to come in and do that with us?
Absolutely. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And Wesley, you're welcome here in the distillery anytime, man. You come on in, hang out, and I'll make you a cocktail or whatever, and we can do this and have a drink.
Absolutely. Okay, I appreciate it. Like I say, anytime we don't have to wait till election night. Anytime you guys want to invite me back, I'll be more than happy to come back. I love the conversation.
You want to come into studio?
Yeah, come into studio next time, Wesley. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll come visit you too if you guys if you guys want to have us come visit, we'll go the other direction too.
100%. Well, not like that.
Beeler said,
hey now.
Beeler said she'll even give you a big hug. Wes,
everybody, I like hugs.
You haven't hugged me in weeks.
There's a reason for that.
Well, you should think about showering once in a while.
Oh, shut up.
I take a shower once a week, whether I need it or not.
And farting less and pulling hair.
You know, I haven't pulled her hair in like a month now. I deserve a medal. Wesley, would you let everybody know how to find you guys on Facebook, or what's the best way to follow your channels? Like, where do they go?
Webs Network on Facebook. We're on Webs Network Media on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Kick. We're on basically all the platforms. Come check us out. We're on X. Come check us out. We would love that you guys invited us out here. My co-host D-Mac, he couldn't make it tonight, but thank you guys so much for inviting us out here and allowing us to give our piece and being respectful about it all the way around the table. Thank you very much.
Hey, is it the WNM 360 around the globe? Is that your logo?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Found it. Okay, good.
Okay. We'll share that on our page as well, too, so that people can connect with that and like you. And Wesley, man, it's been an honor, man. Thank you so much. Now, listen, the only thing I need you to do before you leave is just admit for us that you'll never win the Super Bowl with a duck at quarterback.
I think we got it next year. I think we were one play away from the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
Were you sipping alcohol off camera? Like, were you?
You guys know what happened.
Let me. There's one question
what happened there.
that Kevin didn't ask that we try to ask of all of our first time guests, and this is important. Okay,
what is this? What?
This is important, Kevin, and you know that it's important.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, when faced with a concert to go to, and you have two choices, you can only make one on the same night.
Here we go.
Do you go see Journey live in concert or Queen? Shut up, you guys!
I've probably only heard of Queen. That's the only person. I don't know who Journey is.
I know, right?
Right? I've only heard of I don't know Journey.
Give me a song. Serious man.
What kind of show are you running if you don't know who Journey? You know, like Don't Stop Believing, Separate Ways, Faithfully.
You gotta give me some. You gotta give me some more. Give me the hook. I don't know.
Believing.
Oh, I like that. That's
you guys, I like
I know you're talking about now.
Michael Jackson. Hey, okay, Wesley, who won, Prince or Michael Jackson? Who was who?
MJ, man. MJ's the greatest of all time.
Are you gonna say now Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac, of course.
All right, there we go. Good.
Wesley,
we can all be friends.
Wesley, here's the question:
especially not knowing who
K-Dog or St. Paul.
What?
This is a rigged question right here, isn't it? Right?
K-Dog or St. Paul? What?
You went to that alleyway again, huh?
I see where they're trying to lead me, but I'm not going to answer that question. I like you both.
That's a smart man. That's a smart man, right?
You should run for office.
Way
Wesley.
to not fall for Kevin.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you, man. Let's have you on again soon. And thanks for taking a full evening with us, man. Appreciate
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, Wesley. You take care, man.
All right. There goes Wesley again. You can find him. Look for Webb's Network Media 360 on Facebook,
Yeah, it's
Twitter.
got a globe with a nice multicolored circle around it. It says W or Web. I just read it. WG.
Insta, Snap,
and they're on Facebook. They're
YouTube, all of them. Look around for that. We'll post a link in our on our page as well.
WNM 360.
All right. I guess Beeler left, so she's not going to do partying.
You made her mad, dude.
What the?
Because you haven't pulled her hair in a month.
Obviously, I need to go back to the way things used to be. She was a little more obedient.
Women need that. They need
God bless it, man.
They need that excitement in their lives.
They don't need excitement. They need to know who's in charge.
Well, Amber, I'm going to come home and pull your hair.
I dare you to.
Oh, I'll do it.
I dare you to.
I'll do it.
I want it on camera. I want you to set up a camera, and then I want to see the response when you do it.
I'll do it. I'll record. I'll walk in the house and record it.
Okay, congratulations, HR here. You know what? You're not going to be the first HR to write me up, but you ain't going to be the last.
And I like how HR sat down right next to Kevin.
Hold on. Say it again.
I don't need to write you up.
Okay. We can't fire me.
She just sat next to you. I think that said it all.
You can't fire me.
I can do other things.
You don't need to fire me. All right. Okay, guys. So parting shots. Let's start with Lori. Do you have any parting shots?
Sure. Everybody have a great week. Go touch grass.
There you
Check out
go.
your news sources, but also
Wait, go touch grass. Was that a promo for Destination Highway 420? Is that what that was?
Sure.
It could be.
Or you could put your feet on some grass.
Yeah, I thought she was
Literal
saying
grass.
take your shoes and socks off and walk in the
Yeah.
grass. Connect with
It's
Mother
gonna be
Earth.
nice out the next few days.
Absolutely. Could be 77 next weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know where.
Ooh.
But anyways,
That's almost warm.
It's
it is
warm for me.
It is warm.
Oh no, I need a good week or so of 95
grass.
plus.
Oh shush.
Eat. If you want to go Destination Highway 420,
It'll make them sunny days even more fun.
yeah. So that's
All right.
parting shot.
All right. Dennis, parting shots.
Shout out Destination Highway 420 for last weekend. That was awesome. I had a good time.
Yes, it was.
And
Yeah. Great show.
They said they planning having all of us back, which will be cool.
Perfect.
On a sadder note, rest in peace, Torrance Jackson, who was my foster brother.
TJ.
Since he was in 7th grade.
Did he ride with the Rough Riders?
No.
Okay. I saw his face and I was just wondering.
Sorry.
He was a place that our family he and his biological sister were placed at our home. My parents at foster home when we were in Spokane, and we were close. He was a little brother I never had. The reason he was in a wheelchair. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know, but it was an accident he was in with me.
Oh wow.
So I mean, we go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
no, condolences.
No, but rest in peace, my man.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to work with TJ when I worked for the IRS. Him and I were both teammates and worked together as well. TJ was obviously, you knew him way better than I did, but TJ was a good dude, and TJ was never a guy that let his disability stop him. He worked hard, and at least in our job, he had to work harder than the rest of us to be able to take notes and type and stuff, just because some of the limitations physically from the accident. So really solid dude, man. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thanks.
Right. Love you, buddy.
You're talking. You should give your final thoughts.
No, I always go last. Do you know why I go last?
No,
because I don't know what kind of crap you're going to say about me, so I got to say it after you. Go ahead, Tom.
I got one more thing, and ironically, Wednesday morning, I start an internship, oddly enough, at the unemployment office.
Oh, that's
Work
cool.
Source
Nice. Work Source is good company to work.
Are they gonna? It's an internship and being unemployed.
Oh, Jesus,
no, but
Kevin,
basically,
what a schmuck.
Right?
What's weird is they consider me a triage person for the Work Source Center. So basically, I'm who you deal with when you first come in.
Wow, we should all go down and visit Dennis.
Oh, listen, man, I that's where I first met Ben Compton.
Finally getting the paycheck again.
Good for you,
Yeah,
Dennis.
absolutely, man. Good for you. Congratulations, Dennis.
But there is a GoFundMe because I need gas money.
Dennis, listen.
Tom's shaking his head like, "Yep."
Dennis, I know how you can make some gas money.
Kevin, can we finish our final
create
thoughts?
a fake account online, find
Kevin.
pictures of women's feet, sell them online, pretend they're yours.
No, but then she'd be taking money from Lori.
Go ahead, Tom.
No, it's Kiki.
Oh, I thought Lori was Kiki.
No, Lori's the anal beads, remember?
No, it's Lori's beads.
I freely admit I get my perversions mixed up.
And by the way, Lori has used anal beads on sale, 50% off. Go ahead, Tom.
Damn.
You can save an extra 20% if you take the unclean ones.
That's right.
Wow.
Just run them through your dishwasher.
They'll be fine.
Go ahead, Tom.
Are you sure?
How do you follow that?
I'll just go back to
follow-
reality.
Tom's like, follow that. It's a Tuesday. It's what I do on Tuesdays. Go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to talk about Wednesdays.
Okay.
Whiskey Wednesdays.
Whiskey Wednesday.
Whiskey Wednesdays.
What's with
So the fourth Wednesday of every month, I host a blind tasting at Brother Don's over in Bremerton.
Oh, Brother Don's.
Yeah. So we
They
start.
sponsored our softball team for years.
Yeah, great guys.
Yep.
Gordon and Bart,
Mhm.
awesome people. But yeah, we start about 6:00, and yours truly takes you on a
6 o'clock every Wednesday, starting this Wednesday, or
fourth Wednesday.
Fourth Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I just did my third Whiskey Wednesday for Brother Don's.
Okay.
I'm trying to line some other bars up on Wednesdays, so I'm hoping to have every Wednesday of the week booked with a bar somewhere where we're doing Whiskey Wednesdays.
Oh, very cool.
So
awesome, man.
it's kind of fun. It's kind of educational. It's an affordable outing at Brother Don's. They're not charging a ton. You come in and hang out with my ugly ass for a couple of hours, and we taste 4 different whiskeys and talk
How
about
much
the history.
tasting do you get to do?
Well, we
Like,
do,
is it a shot glass? Is that your taste? Or
Can I have a straw?
yeah. If you want, you weirdo. No, it's just a nice little tasting cup.
Okay.
And I'll come back through, and if you want to taste, A after you tasted B, we throw a little more in the glass. I mean, we're not stingy about it, but
So you go in there, you
also not-
basically pay a cover to be a part of the event, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
covers your whiskey.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Do you get to do
So-
some of your own whiskeys, or are they all your own, or what?
I will be doing my whiskeys when we get there.
Uh-huh.
So the first one of these we did was I call it Whiskey 101.
Uh-huh.
And we just talk about 4 of the 5 major whiskey producing countries around the globe.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of leave Japan out of it because Japanese whiskey is 1, expensive, and 2, hard to find. It's expensive because it is hard
I
to
did
find.
not know that the Japanese made whiskey, but
They
I
make
suppose.
amazing whiskey.
Okay.
So our first one we did Irish, Canadian, American, and Scottish. And then our second one we did just American whiskeys.
Mhm.
Our third one we did Irish whiskeys.
Mhm.
So for May we will be delving into Scotch a little bit. And then
Okay, I'll be there for that.
Yeah,
I'll bring
and-
Amber.
Okay, and then as
You
we
like
go,
Scotch?
I love Scotch.
Okay.
yeah, well, and then as we go, we'll dig into other things. You know, one of the flights that we're going to do, it'll be a little more expensive. One of the 4 whiskeys we taste will be a premium, right? So like a $300 or $400 bottle that you would find, you know, at Bevmo or Total Wine or whatever.
Oh, don't care. I'll be there.
Yeah. We'll be doing a class that is just craft whiskey. When we do that one, Black Ring Spirits will be in that, but I'll be doing other whiskeys from, you know, small craft distilleries around the state.
Very good.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun.
I love it.
All right.
Okay,
Paul.
So the paintball field, starting the end of May, we're having a grand opening of our woods ball field.
Nice.
And at that point, it will be. I'm glad Alicia's in here. She's doing well. She's getting the flow of things, because I won't be able to be here probably on time for the beginnings of the show at 7, because we don't close till 5, and I still have to clean up and everything after we close. So again,
when does that start?
That'll be the end of the last weekend in May.
Okay.
Yeah. So having said that, all I want to leave everybody with, I thought Lori brought up a really good point about getting outside, get in touch with nature. It's going to be really super nice weather.
Yeah.
Whether you go to the beach, you know, go to the waterfront, go stick your feet in the water, whatever. Enjoy your surroundings, enjoy the environment. It's absolutely worth it here. And if you haven't gotten out more in the environment, you should all do it. The last thing I'd like to say is I'd like to bring up an email that I got from Kevin's mom about 17 years ago. And you know, and God rest her soul. You know, and basically what she said to me, what she said to me was, "Stop being mean to my son on air."
She did not.
She said, "Please, Paul, I beg you." He comes home in tears at night. And it's really hard as a parent to cope with that.
How dare you bring up my deceased mother? That is a low
Anyway,
blow, man.
So anyway, I love everybody. Thank you to Wesley for being on with us. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, actually, my mom talked to me once after listening to this show and said, "Quit picking on Paul. It's not nice to pick on the slow kids." So
really? Only the libertarian laugh. Okay.
So
thanks, Tom.
So
Damn.
my parting shot. Do you guys remember the story that came out last year about the veteran that was in the wheelchair on the Seattle waterfront and he got accosted by that guy and then the guy shot him? Did you hear about that?
I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just to run down people that didn't hear about it.
One of them was homeless, right?
He was a street performer on the waterfront. He was in a wheelchair. He was playing some music.
Okay, hold on. I'm a little confused because I didn't hear about it. Who got shot? The street performer?
I'm telling you the story. Yeah,
Okay.
so he's a street performer. He's a veteran. He's in a wheelchair. He's playing music. Homeless dude walks up to him, accuses him of not being a veteran and lying about his service. The guy in the wheelchair actually pulls out his VA card and shows him he really is a veteran. So the homeless guy steals his military ID thing. The guy in the wheelchair, fearing, pulls out a knife to defend himself. And so the homeless dude pulls out a gun and shoots him in the chest. Now, the dude lives, the Navy vet lives. The guy that did all of this, instigated it, and then shot him, got sentenced this week to 3.5 years.
That's it?
That's it.
Welcome to Seattle.
So but this isn't a Seattle thing. This is a state of Washington and a sentencing guideline thing.
It is. Yeah.
As long as we continue to not hold people accountable for the things that they do,
Mm-hmm.
when you're allowed to go up and harass somebody in a wheelchair for no reason whatsoever, make him fearful for his life, take things out of his hand, get up in his space, pull out a gun and shoot him in the chest for no reason, and you get 3.5 years.
I hope the VA considers that gunshot service related. I mean,
No,
he was
they're
defending
not.
it. He was defending himself
They're not
being a
going
veteran.
They're not going to. But I mean, if he's got a VA card, he's going to get free medical at the VA anyway. But my point is, this is part of what the issue is, right? And we can blame this on Seattle. This isn't a Seattle thing. The legislature has to do something about crime, and they need to get more diligent on how they address these issues. And I'm sick of homeless or drug addict or alcoholic or mental health being an excuse. I'm not saying you sentence them all the same way, but you have to hold people accountable for their actions. You can't shoot somebody in the chest and get 3.5 years, especially when you instigated it and caused the entire thing yourself because you wanted to be a prick to somebody in a wheelchair that you thought you could bully.
Yeah, there's clearly an issue of
that's Jack. And the dude was
mental health
68.
there, I
The
think.
dude was 68 years old in a wheelchair. He's not threatening anybody. And you wanted to pick a fight because you wanted to argue about whether or not he was really a veteran or not. Like, it's your business anyway. So anyway, that I just they need to do something. That this is gross. Again, special thanks to our sponsors, including Destination Highway 420. Check them out on Hollis over across the street from Cloverleaf. Stop in, tell them Outlaw sent you. Check out their full supply of tinctures, flowers, pre-rolls.
Good.
Wax. What? Wax. Oh, I forgot about wax.
Yeah. Distillates.
Distillates.
There you go. Glass,
supplies, lotions,
creams, lubricants,
tinctures. I know about tinctures because my mom used to have to use those. So tinctures and whatever else is cannabis related. I don't know. But stop in and see and tell them Outlaw sent you, and just talk to their bud tenders because they're all really, really helpful. They'll definitely help you. Thanks to Black Ring Spirits for again hosting the show. Black Ring Spirits, the official home of Outlaw Radio. Check them out in the Town Square Shopping Center, bottom floor, kind of next to Grandmaster Yee's I'll Kick Your Ass in 7 different languages place.
Suite 116.
Suite 116. Stop in and see them and check out their full, what is it, chocolate pistachio bourbon?
Yeah, I've got a chocolate pistachio whiskey. I'm going to have I'll have a smoked cherry walnut on the shelf.
Remind me to ask you in the future, not tonight because we're ending, but what is the difference between a whiskey and a bourbon and all that? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's something I talk about on Whiskey Wednesdays.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
No, we do that on Whiskey Wednesdays, but I'll do that here if you want.
Thanks to Admin a la carte. If you need help getting your e-commerce going, Admin a la carte is a great place to check them out. Go to www.admin-alacarte.com and let them know what you're looking for. They can help with online stores, website, all of it. And it's really great pricing. So check them out. Lastly, Kitsap Great Escape. No, not lastly. Kitsap Great Escape. Lunar Curse is now open and available for bookings. First bookings will be available Wednesday. Check out the new room. We've all played it. We all loved it, and you will too. Check them out at kitsapgreatescape.com. And lastly, DJ D is available to DJ your weddings, bar mitzvahs, circumcisions parties, divorce parties, bachelorette parties, bachelor parties. Paul got kicked out of another woman's house party. Whatever you need to do.
Wow.
That's just for bringing up my deceased mom, you prick. Anyway, if you want more information, just reach out to Dennis on Facebook, or you can contact us at Outlaw Radio. We love you guys. We'll see you next Sunday. Frank Aquila will join us in the first hour, and then who knows what else will happen. It's Outlaw Radio. We love you guys. Thanks for checking out the show.
From 7 to 10 on Sundays.
If you liked it, share it. Be a friend. Tell a friend. If you didn't like it, F off. Pretend like it never happened. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Good night, everybody.